What's up, everybody? I am here with a friend,
What
Jon
up?
Root, who I've known for a while. Where did we first meet? Because I know we met with Mason at Mason DeChamp's thing, but was that the
Yeah,
first time
I
we met, or we just kind of like off and on?
didn't we meet at the Fight Laugh Feast
Oh
conference
yeah, well you
at
probably
the
definitely
at the
would
Ark
have.
Encounter?
Oh yeah, you would have met me there. Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah. So
Because I feel like that's so funny. All of us know each other online, and then we're just kind of like, it's always the same. When did I meet you? It doesn't matter. We
have
feel
we
like we've known
met?
each other for so long.
Yeah, man. That is, yeah. There's so many people that my wife says I have to stop. Go ahead and talk for me. I think you might have. Yeah, of course. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Okay. What? Good. Talk for me now.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. I think they can hear you now. I muted you.
What is that
It's
about?
live. It's live. It's unpolished. It's not political. Like it's none of that stuff. So that's just
The
what it
best.
is. But anyway, me and John were having this great conversation, one-sided conversation about how about how we first met. I think probably at a Fight Laugh Feast conference at Ark Encounter. It
Yeah,
was the first time we met, but I feel like we've been friends online for a lot longer than that. And you've been kind of hitting on a lot of the same subjects I've been hitting on, and like the
yeah.
state of just the state of Hollywood in general, not necessarily conservative media, and then the state of conservative media and just in general. And I was like, if I'm going to start bringing on guests, I need to bring on Jon Root,
Let's go.
who's just been sharp. But why don't you talk about some of your former media experience that you've had? Because you were doing sports stuff, right?
Yeah, so like anybody that follows me, you can see that I still cover sports from more of a conservative and Christian perspective. So obviously, I love seeing the amount of Christian athletes that are out there. So I try to share a lot of that content. I feel like that kind of sets me apart. ESPN and mainstream sports media is obviously super liberal. So thankfully, based on my background, I could understand where sports were going and what sports fans want. So there's just a certain agenda that you see in Hollywood, which is a certain agenda that you see in sports media. I try to give that other perspective, try to call out wrongs, try to hold sports media's feet to the fire. I worked for the San Jose Sharks for 5 seasons, worked for the Golden State Warriors organization, worked for the Dodgers organization, did some work with NBC Sports, worked for Turning Point for 2.5 years, and I covered the Will Thomas story there. So I was out at Georgia Tech. That's how I got to know Riley Gaines, and a ton of other people in the conservative media industry. So, and then now I'm just an independent content creator, just popping off with a bunch of views thanks to Stranger Things being an awful show and a bad season.
Dude, I got I got
Thank
I got hit up. I got hit up on X today because my Stranger Things tweet was quoted in the official Stranger Things review from Nerdrotic.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, because I
Yeah,
I
yeah.
follow I follow those guys a lot, and people can see that I cover like sports a lot, but I don't really cover like movies and TV shows that much. But I love it. Like I'm watching Nerdrotic a lot. I really respect those guys over there. It's a little too crude for me. I'll be honest. Like, and there's times where I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But they do such a great job breaking it down. They got a lot of really good coverage, interesting perspectives, and they're easily the go-to spot for
Yeah, yeah.
what's
100%.
going on with Star Wars, what's going on with everything else. And then I saw you on there. I'm like, let's go, Marcus. You got a little footprint.
Yeah, I got twice because first time they shouted me out was on their live panel show that they did
Yep.
last week, and then this afternoon when the Stranger Things review dropped, they shared it again. So
Nice.
so I got a double feature there.
Let's go. Attaboy.
Which is great, because I just started live streaming in 2026, so I feel
Yep.
like I already made it to the nerdrotic heights. So
Those guys do such a
and
good job. And if you're starting out and you're getting a little shout out from them, that is a nice little boost.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's what I'm saying. Like I'll put that in my resume.
As you
but
should.
but I think I think the thing is like me and you are Christian conservatives, and
Yeah.
what I've been just frustrated by, which is why I started live streaming, is just the complete lack of intellectual thought behind how we critique stuff. you know,
Yeah.
like it's so easy, or like all I see is just like the rage bait of stuff, but never
Yeah.
like this was like I think yesterday I had, or Monday I had Jason Farley on, who's a
Oh,
screenwriter,
nice.
and he was telling me just about how great Stranger Things was, just in all these other sort of elements and why it was good, which I think actually when you do that and you go, wow, look at like the way they do color theory and like all the lighting and editing and the way each character has their own music and soundscape and all this other sort of stuff. And then you go, but then they did the gay thing. It actually makes it worse
Yeah.
because like they are actually really skilled filmmakers, and they completely fumbled the ball on the 1 yard line. Right, I guess they didn't fumble it if they were planning it the whole time,
And then that's the thing
but
too. It's just like you don't know what to believe. So they're like, well, the Duffer Brothers told Netflix, you know, during season one or prior to season one that they wanted to have this coming out scene. They didn't. Like, there's
yeah,
no.
I think that's
They had
way
no
more
idea that this
reasonable.
show would make it to 5 seasons.
Yeah,
Like,
that's yeah,
it's
that's
like,
right.
come on, man. Yeah,
Yeah, the
no.
only one that knows if a show is going to make it to 5 seasons or not is Vince Gilligan.
Yeah,
And they're not at Vince Gilligan's level, right? And so, yeah, in fact, I think it was like their first real thing that they ever really did. They did a few horror movies or something, and
yeah.
but and then some sort of like substitute screenwriting and fixing scripts and stuff. But like that
Yeah.
was their
Did
first
that
big
screenwriter say
project.
that he liked season five though?
Did what screenwriter? Oh, Jason Farley.
Yeah,
No. Jason's my co-founder at Lore. He wasn't
yeah,
a he like I think like there were the elements of the fifth season that were like just what he said was they just had too big of a cast, and when you have like that big of a cast, you
yeah,
can't focus on like the key specifics and the details and the arcs that matter.
yeah,
And so that was kind of like season five. Like they kind of just, it's like we have all this money, so we have to spend it. So let's build this entirely new cast like right away, basically. And then that just sort of like it's like like you see the Avengers movie trailers right now, and
yeah,
they'll have the X-Men return and Doomsday, right?
yep.
And it's like that was probably like 90% of all the screen time that the X-Men are going to have in Marvel's Avengers, because there's so many cast members that are going to be a part of this project. They got to introduce whoever's going to be the new Avengers.
Yep.
Spider-Man's going to be there, so there's all these elements and stuff. And so
And
by
then
the
that's why I think
end,
the aspect of like all this money. I can't remember the last time I heard about a show or a movie that's like, we have all this money or we spent all this money and it turned out to be really good, because I think an apt comparison would be Rings of Power. Rings of Power, like, reportedly billion-dollar show, like it just doesn't feel like Lord of the Rings. The acting is poor, the set design, it's like it's beautiful in some ways. The music is still pretty good, but like when you hear about like all this money, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to turn into like a sports analogy. Just because you have a bunch of money and you have a bunch of superstars in general, like doesn't mean that you're going to win.
that's right.
Um, and it's in general, like I think the same thing when they're like, I don't know how much money they said they spent on season five. I'm like, well, I hope it turns into good. I mean, you can't beat or basically get away with bad writing with a bunch of money. It doesn't work.
Right. No, I completely agree. Actually, I've been saying this for a long time, and that is that people think of Hollywood and film exactly like they think about like NASA, right? Like like SpaceX can't beat NASA because NASA has this massive budget, and that massive budget is going to win every time. And here comes, privately funded little SpaceX, and they have reduced the cost of launching a rocket into space more than any other company. They've launched more rockets than NASA, I think, has done up to this point. Like, just a tremendous amount of work, and they did that by reducing cost and focusing on like the like getting getting to space as many times as possible.
Yeah.
And so like that's the way I think, like, we didn't, like, especially conservatives who are not going to compete against Hollywood's budget. The focus needs to be, how do we, like, where are the independent filmmakers at? Like, where are, like, the younger artists at? How do we find them before they're worth millions of dollars an episode?
Yeah.
And then like because if you had like $10 million and you launched 100 artists with $10 million, chances are one or two of those projects are going to do pretty well.
Yeah.
If you're a good talent scout, right? And so, but we don't have talent scouts, right? So it's like sports. You have high school NBA, you have college football, high school football. You have ways to find new talent, and then conservatives go, and we bring in Sylvester Stallone and John Voight, and they're all in their 70s. And
Yep.
we're like, yeah, these guys are going to be the ones that rescue Hollywood. It's like, no, dude. Like, you need to go find some like 18-year-old homeschool kids who are just super insane filmmakers and like really just pour everything into that. That's
I
where
want to
the key.
pick I want to pick your brain with this then, because you obviously have a lot of inside information, and I'm not asking you to spill crazy beans or get you in trouble here. But like what people look to right now is Angel Studios, because
Yeah.
obviously, like Daily Wire has really tried hard to put some movies together. I'm almost done with watching the second episode of Pendragon Cycle. To be honest, I'm not really enjoying it that much. It's not. I don't think it's
Hey, did we lose you, John? I feel like I lost you. Uh, so is that, are you still on Discord? What happened there?
bad.
Oh,
A lot
there
of
you
like
go.
independent
Hey,
creators and filmmakers. Oh,
what
am I
is going
back?
on? Yeah, you're back. You're back. Okay, you're back. Now you're breaking up. Is that my internet that's
Am I good
breaking
now?
up?
All right, I'm
Yeah,
back.
I think you're good now.
I'm good now.
Yeah, I
Um,
think so.
So I think, long story short, would be like, so what do you think about Angel Studios then? Like how it's
Yeah,
fitting in there, because that's what people look to. They're like, all right, who's going to be able to beat big bad Hollywood? It's Angel Studios, but there's obviously a lot of interesting stuff behind the scenes there.
yeah, I think one is the Mormons invest a lot of money in entertainment and art. Like, they out
Well,
invest
they have a
Christians.
lot of money.
I don't no, I would disagree with that. Like, as a singular organization they do, but in terms of, like, if you look at like individual, and I'll say broadly evangelical investors, like the wealth and like the conservative movement. Let's go conservative movement. Like, there
Yep.
is a lot of capital available, a lot. But the question is, like, what do conservatives spend that capital on in great abundance? And so you'll get B2B SaaS tech plays, which are just like, we're going to invest in this company that's going to charge $10,000 a year to a business to be able to use the tech product, whatever it is, a
Yep.
spreadsheet thing. And then
Yep.
the goal of that investment is that Google or Facebook will buy that tech, or some other
Yeah.
bigger VC will buy that tech in this exit strategy, right? So a lot of conservative money goes into B2B SaaS. Uh, uh, hundreds of uh, billions of dollars go into nonprofit donor advisor funds that are used to fund uh, He Gets Us, right?
Yeah.
So that campaign, and then so billions of
Don't
dollars
get me
there. And
started on He Gets Us. Goodness
dude,
gracious.
I'll have to have you on after the Super Bowl. I'm sure. I'm sure there'll be some nonsense, but guaranteed it'll be immigration related. But so he gets us. But not only it's not just He Gets Us. They spend hundreds of millions of dollars investing in like third world businesses in Africa, which is like never brings in a return. It's all charity
Yep.
based. We're going to bring entrepreneurship to Africa, but there's like no Christian worldview of capitalism that sustains those businesses long term.
Yeah.
so so it's like, but so hundreds of millions of dollars that way, like just lots of money that goes into things that don't really create a cultural impact.
'Cause- And I
You
think
know,
too, with like even you talk about like cultural impact, I think a lot of for me not being involved in the industry as in depth as you are, like making documentaries and making films and what it's like to produce those things and write those things. For me, I feel like even as kind of like I guess I could just call myself a lay person when it comes to like Hollywood and TV and movies. The conservative movement, if we just keep talking about them, it feels like the writing is just way too on the nose. Like, it's like, oh, here's this anti woke stuff. So, like, hey, isn't woke dumb? Oh, men are men and women are women. It's just kind of like, I don't feel like this is creative. I feel like this is still like preaching a agenda, even though it's an agenda that I believe in and it's, the truth. It's like it doesn't feel as creative. It feels like, yeah, just another conservative podcast that's been turned into a show. Like even things like, and again, I mean, I've appreciated Daily Wire, and this is not just the dog on them. It's to use it as like an example. I think if something like Lady Ballers comes out, and it's like I think there's the ability to have this similar to like how do we have a Jackie Moon character and try to use this cultural moment where men are getting into women's sports, but a lot of it's just like, okay, you're using your own in-house talent. You're not using, talent that nobody knows about. And this could actually be
yeah.
a funny way to, through satire, make fun of something that's actually affecting culture. But it seems like you're being preached at and it's weird writing and it doesn't have really any cultural impact because it's just like, oh, men are better than women at sports. And it's just kind of like, like, isn't it funny when someone, it's like, well, I feel like at times we're just
That was
missing,
like
we're
that
a
was
caricature of ourselves.
Yeah, and so like I really believe that if you're going to make cultural impact, you just have to focus on being entertaining and not, the message, right? So
Yeah.
you like that's the one thing like we haven't figured out is like it's totally okay to make a dumb cartoon that's just a dumb cartoon. And like Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, right? Like there's no real morals in those. Like the hunter is
Yeah.
doing like not like Elmer Fudd's not immoral for hunting rabbits, and the rabbit isn't immoral for trying to save his life, and
Yeah.
but it's just like the focus is just being good and entertaining, and the problem is we try to make entertainment important, and entertainment
Yeah.
is not important. Like its value as a financial capitalist sort of commodity, the value of entertainment is not in its importance. It's whether or not it has long-term economic value. And
Yeah.
so, it's like I don't care that McDonald's is like whatever they do with like their liberal funding or whatever. The question is McDonald's fast and cheap?
Yeah.
right? And does it provide more calories per dollar than any other food source in the history of the world? Yes, it does.
Yep.
So like that's the value of McDonald's. Like it's fast and cheap, abundant source of calories. That's what makes it good. But I don't need, BLM messages on my Big Mac box. Like that, like right? And for the most part, McDonald's hasn't done that. And so and same thing with Chick-fil-A. Like I don't need a gospel track in my Chick-fil-A sandwich. I don't need a cross burned into every bun. Like I just
Yep.
the question is like, do you make good food? And that really matters. Now Chick-fil-A had this Christian sort of underlying thing that I think actually made it what it is, but it
Yeah.
wasn't the evangelistic message of the company that made the food good. It was the Christian worldview of this is how Christians should make good food.
And
And
I
that's
feel
what
like
they did. And serve
that's
people.
the that's the interesting thing with even my wife and I. We love Cracker Barrel. Like you can walk into
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel and at times they're gonna have like some music that's like it's like is that a Christian song or like but even more it's just like here's some Jesus focused Christmas stuff over here. And then here's
Yeah.
some tote bags with Bible verses on it, where it's not like totally in your face, but it's like, yeah, like we hold to these values. And that's where I think I'd be interested here, especially as we're talking about like, okay, Hollywood's gone so woke. And then we have Stranger Things. You talk about the message there. Like Stranger Things will be remembered as Will saying, I don't like girls. And they're
That's funny.
pushing a gay agenda. Like, unfortunately, that's what it's going to be remembered as. And they've ruined that. And a lot of times we want independent companies to come in, but I see it almost like with sports where boycotts I think are effective because like we are the consumer, so we can tell like sports for example, I don't like when they were taking a knee and disrespecting the flag. I don't like all this BLM
Yeah.
messaging, this, that, and the other thing. But in general, what I want is sports to be a unifying outlet away from
Yeah.
politics and the craziness of life. I don't feel like we should, as conservatives, be like, that's dumb, boycott it, and then complain what a couple years later when it's just full blown crazy liberal and woke.
Right.
Like we have to stay in the fight, and that's why I think again. I know this is long winded. It's like interesting what you think with holding Hollywood's feet to the fire while supporting independent media and creators and filmmakers. Because I think of like the Harry Potter series coming up, that has the ability to be the biggest TV show in the history of the world, but they came out with the Black Snape. It's like it's
They
like
did.
why are they
They
making
did.
these decisions? How can we make them better hold their feet to the fire while at the same time realizing that we need independent filmmakers to create other content?
Yeah, dear, when the Little Mermaid came out, I had a pretty simple position. If Disney comes out and says they auditioned thousands of Ariels, and was it Haley? Was that her name? No, she's not. She doesn't
Yeah,
star in
Haley
anything
something,
anymore.
I can't remember her
Yeah,
name.
she doesn't star in anything anymore because she was so bad in that. But if they were to come out and said, "Look, we auditioned thousands of girls, and Haley was so good that we just said, hey, we're gonna risk it because she's the best for the role," I would have told like there wouldn't have been I really don't think there would have been a controversy. But what they didn't do that. They said, well, it's important that one race of people looks to the screen and sees themselves, and then they had the kids who are watching it and go, she looks like me. And they just made it this whole thing but like nobody asked, yeah, but like, is she like right for the role? Like that, like, and a good example of that, I don't know if you saw like Cinderella, Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella with, oh, what was Brandy? With Brandy and was it Celine Dion or Whitney Houston? Whitney
Was it
Houston played.
the live action one?
Yeah, the live action one, where they had a completely like interracial cast, like the mom and the dad, like the dad, the
I
king was
never
like,
watched that live action one. No.
yeah, dude, it's so good. Like you don't even
Yeah.
think, because there is a strategy behind, uh it's called colorblind casting, where it's like we're just gonna do this like weird mix of just everybody that's great for the
Yeah.
role. And Hamilton did that, right? Like Hamilton,
Yeah.
like it, nobody cares about the races of whoever in Hamilton. I heard people complain, but
And
they
I know
haven't.
Gary and the Nerdrotic folks too. They were talking about like Batman. Like you have a black Commissioner Gordon, and it's like there's some characters where you race swap them, and it's really not a big
Yeah,
deal at all. And
yeah,
they're good at the role. And that's what like I think liberals can't understand that like us conservatives, it's not like oh like we just can't have black people in shows. It's
yeah.
like
So
okay,
so
no, we
if
now
if
come
the
down
black
to it's like Little Mermaid. That is a like historic white character. And you are
yeah, right.
specifically pushing a diversity and inclusion agenda. You know,
Yeah, and
when
they
you have,
open like that was the thing. They were open like
yep,
this is a DEI push. Like that's what ruined it. It wasn't like yeah, but Haley's the absolute best there is. It's like oh well let's see. But it
yep.
turned out the movie was just really bad anyway. And I saw some video essay breakdowns on just how bad like it was. Like when you look at the original animation, like you know like there were instruments being played like out of from with animals that were out of context of the song. But if you go to
Uh,
animation, like that, all the animals that are playing instruments are relevant to the they're actually playing with the music and like all this other
and
stuff.
then what's happening too, you know this again, I know I'm preaching to the choir. It's not just like actors and actresses that are like hitting some DEI or checking off a DEI box. You have people that are creatives behind the scenes and filmmakers and producers that are checking a DEI box. So like people are just
Well,
like,
the Motion
you
Picture
could have
Association,
good writing
yeah,
and good producing and good editing could actually make up for maybe a bad actor or actress. But when you have this
right,
whole like everybody behind the scenes and everybody involved in the whole project, it's like you shouldn't even be filming this thing. You shouldn't even have this
yeah,
job.
yeah, like Motion Picture Association of America has DEI requirements in order to be eligible for Oscar nominations, right? So that means that there has to be either some sort of minority or homosexual either involved in the production at a certain tier or in the star, and then also in order for a movie to be included in the Oscars it has to have some sort of social justice narrative to it as well.
At what
So
point
there's
does
like
this become insulting though? Like at some point it has to
well, I think
be
it already
in,
is. You look at Hollywood's box office results and go, it's already insulting, and
but
people aren't buying it
I even
anymore.
think of the individuals, like because the NFL has a thing for people that are unaware. It's called the Rooney Rule. So you essentially need to at least interview one minority for your head coach position. I think it's at least head coach. It might be like coordinator positions too. Like at some point, you would have to be like, okay, I might just be here because they need to check a racial box. Like that is so insulting. Like I might not even be here because they think I'm the best
Yeah,
person for the job. That is
right,
so like, oh, it's just it's mind blowing to me. It's insulting.
right, and you know, when you look at just historically where uh, minorities do best and make the most amount of money, it's in the areas of industry in which government subsidies or DEI sort of stuff can't help, like athleticism and music, right? Like those sort of things, like they do really well. Like the first black billionaires are from hip hop and athletes and right like so, right athletes became black athletes, Michael Jordan for example. And so it's all areas where it's just pure merit based, like that's
Yep.
where these minority groups have really excelled. And so when you have these sort of things where it's not really merit based and it's sort of like well okay we got to interview a black coach or whatever, the coach turns out to be terrible. You know, because they it wasn't a pure merit based decision. You can't do sort of DEI stuff for athletics. You have to really like focus on where the sports programs are in the country locally, and so
And
you
then
have a lot of
even as far too to like cut you off, Mark, it's like if you hire a black coach, you can get compensated draft picks. Like you are now telling You are
What?
now telling black
What?
folks, like, because we go back to like everybody would
So
be like,
so
okay,
just
with
explain that. So like NFL organization will actually give your team more money to be able to do draft picks, or will they give you a better draft pick
so,
if you have?
so it's essentially you can get compensated a draft pick. So like what you're now telling is like it sounds like legitimate slavery language. Like this person is not a totally like it's not enough just getting this coach, which should be getting the job because of meritocracy.
Yeah.
No, we need them to get the job plus reward the team with a little extra bonus for hiring this minority and black individual most of the time. It's like you're not hiring women for head coaching positions in the NFL and stuff, but like it I think of that stuff, and it sounds like you feel like these people are less than. Not only do they just have to be interviewed, um, if you hire them, you'll give them a little bonus for the hiring. It's just like I don't know. Again, I'm the whitest person on earth, and I'm insulted for these people. It's crazy to me.
Right. Yeah. No.
Just look
I've
up Rooney
never.
Rule. Anybody that wants to
I've
know, just look up Rooney Rule.
Yeah. I've never seen. I've never seen the Rooney Rule before. That's crazy to me. To do that. But let's go back to your question because we were kind of like strayed, which is great. That's what live streams are about. You were talking about like Angel, for example, and like, you know, so I think Angel initially really had a good idea. It's like, how do we find indie films and get them funded, right?
Yeah.
And then, uh, you know, they had a lot of arbitration and stuff, and uh, I won't go into the details of that, but that they ultimately like IPO'd, and as soon as they IPO, they uh, sign this deal with Seth Rogen, and you just go, wait a minute, where's the indie stuff on that? And then I don't know if you saw my post on it. I wrote about how they basically attacked the guild, right? Did you see that?
I think so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
when it came out that they hired a trans voice actor in The Animal Farm, or Seth Rogen,
Oh yeah, I remember. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Keep going. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So one of the Harmon brothers actually responded on X to Peachy Keen, who voiced the complaint, or she was one of the first people to voice it. I don't know if she was the only one, but she was one of the first ones. And so the Harmon brothers issued this statement about the guild, and in it they said the guild does not see race. The guild, guild doesn't see the sex of the filmmaker. They only focus on the story. And it's like, well, wait a minute. So are you saying that your guild are racist and sexist? Like why would you hide that from them? Like you guys just said that out in the open. like they did. Like yeah, right? So it's yeah, I was just, and so I wrote a whole Substack on that. And but it's like, so I think like immediately I think what if I had to predict like where Angel was going, I would say they're just going to become like a big studio model. And so it's going to create the exact same amount of problems that they've always had. They're going to have a bigger challenge on it because they have to basically burn down the entire audience that built them in order to do that. And I think like that is the problem of saying like we want to like we need Hollywood, or we want to be Hollywood. It's like no, you don't.
Well,
You
and
don't need
that's
it.
where
You don't need any of them.
people should feel used, like you're saying, like
Well,
people like
yeah,
that was the whole like Chosen debacle. I was just like, okay, there's plenty of reasons where I feel like people should not support that show, but they had a bunch of people, especially biblical reasons, but they had a lot of people that spent hard-earned money to make that the most successful, highest grossing crowdfunded show of all time. And then when you gaslight those folks and just tell them like, well, it doesn't matter if we have a pride flag on set, like, and if you don't like it, you're homophobic, and our actors can tell you to, close the door on your way out. It's one. It's like, in general, these people. It's like, okay, I guess there's a part of me that could feel good if you like to support that, and you feel like it brings more good than bad, and we can get into biblical errors and conversation, whatever. But people should feel like, wait a minute, like I was just a means to an end. Now, like with Angel and The Chosen and these other places, like you feel just like a lot of these, even like Christian musicians throughout our lives. You start getting some secular play and you start getting some features with some secular artists, you start to compromise. And it's like, at what point are we ever going to have someone that really holds the line? What studio is going to hold the line? What
Yeah.
actor or actress and major star is going to hold the line? It just feels like we're constantly disappointed in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, that's because I like to say people are drawn like moths to a flame, but it's like they're drawn like moths, like celebrities to the red carpet. Like they're just drawn
Mhm.
into this, like they're lured by the paparazzi flashes.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you have I don't know if you have a video up of the stream at the moment, but I pulled up the the I pulled up, this is the Angel Guild statement on this. So it says the Angel Guild can't see a filmmaker's race. Members vote without knowing the race or skin color of a filmmaker. Directors and creators submit their work without fear of bias. So who has the bias in that statement? The Guild. The
Yeah.
Guild judges only the story. The Angel Guild can't see a filmmaker's gender. Voters never see the gender of the director, writer, or producer. Filmmakers filmmakers no longer need to worry about sexism blocking the shot. Like they actually said it out loud, and and so the Angel Guild can't see a filmmaker's religions. Members are unaware of a filmmaker's faith traditions, and then so basically, the main thing here is that that the Angel Guild, according to this statement, it calls the members of the guild sexist and I don't know, racial bigots, they're racially biased, and so and so
Yeah.
like that, like according to that statement, like that is very clear, like what they're saying. And the thing is, like, I want people to understand is like the guild are the investors who built and created Angel Studios. So those are the ones that
Mhm.
came in and they put thousands and millions of dollars of their own money into these crowd-funded movies and TV shows, and the success of that is what allowed Angel to be able to IPO. That now, to be fair, it was a SPAC, so it wasn't like a real IPO, but it was like a they bought a company that was like failing on the stock market because it's it's cheaper to do it that way than it is to actually start your own. But so they did that, and then from there, they had the issue with David, right? They were in legal arbitration
Yeah.
over the movie David. Once they IPO'd, the story that I heard, I think I read the article on it, but uh, is that they IPO'd, and then they just, in order to settle the arbitration, they just bought the rights outright from the filmmakers of David, and then
Mhm.
it was supposed to come out in November uh, for Thanksgiving, but they had to push it back 2 weeks, and then they struggled to get it into as many theaters as they wanted because it was late and,
Yeah.
and stuff. So it's like it's like it's just like a big mess, but like it just seems like everything I'm hearing is just they're not very artist friendly.
Yes.
Like they're just not very, and that's really what wins when you read the history of entertainment, like mega entertainment companies. They
Mhm.
all started with this like artist friendly focus, and then they get
Yep.
big. And they become NASA, and there's bureaucracy, and you're spending $100 million on a single project, and now there's like all this capital risk, and so the creative risk is the very first thing to go. Everything is
Yep.
ruled by bureaucracy and decision, which it'll amaze me if Avengers Doomsday turns out well. It'll it I
Yeah.
the fact that Marvel did as well as it did for that first era is miraculous on its own, that Disney was somehow able to not make it as terrible as it could have been. And then I think
But
like
I mean,
once it
a
went,
lot of it was
once
just
it,
like these are interesting stories, and like you're able to tie these things together, and it's like
yeah,
these weren't necessarily like your A-list superheroes, and
yeah,
it's like
right,
now we can talk about superhero fatigue and the message that's included in everything. It's like,
yeah,
oh wow, like these are superheroes. There's a clear good and there's a clear bad. Um, and I want to root for these superheroes that aren't just preaching some culturally relevant message. It's like, oh, Captain America. I get to learn a little bit more about him. Iron Man was never really big, growing up for me, even if I was reading comics or not. Like, these are interesting characters, and they're able
yeah.
to tie all these things together. And I can go to the box office, and it feels like, you know, almost just like I have to go see this movie. And I feel like I can get away for a few hours. And I was genuinely entertained. Like, we now don't get that. We can go to the movie and we're just like, oh, I can't believe they have this like major gay character. I'm watching Lightyear and they have to have this like lesbian kiss in there. And I'm just trying to go with my kids. And then it's like, in general, like, I think people, if Avengers Doomsday, at very least, they're going to focus on nostalgia. The story is not going to be as good as what we've seen in the past. And I think it's just going to do well if they don't preach a specific feminism message, homosexuality message, um, current political messaging kind of situation where it's like, I'll try to take a dig at Trump or like try to crap on capitalism or something like that. I I would very
I don't think they're gonna do that. and,
yeah.
and the reason I don't think they're gonna do that is there seems to be this parental fatherhood sort of narrative in every one of the trailers that have come out for it yet. And I think they realize
Especially
they've
Thor.
lost. Yeah, Thor. I mean, that was amazing. Thor's was good, and then there's Captain America, and then of course
Mm.
the sort of relationships they were hinting at in the Marvel one they came out with. But I think like I think I think they need to get fathers back into the theaters because I think they've realized that the dads aren't going to go to the woke slot, and
Yeah.
if the dads don't go, then the kids aren't going to go, and you lose this sort of multi generational audience. And like my
Mm.
hope is, like I try to be like optimistic until it comes out.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
it's like
like I
even
just
like
try
what
to
you're
be
saying, like the MCU. Like,
Oh,
again,
that
like
was
I know I'm
terrible. Yeah, but I think
like
they're done with it. I think they're done with that. Like I think
I
that's
think they're
over.
I think they're done with that too. And I think a lot of people, like even females, are just kind of like, I feel like this is a little too much. Like, this is like too much representation. I feel like in general, like I don't know, you watch something like Captain African American. You have this like secret agent woman. She is legit like 3 feet tall, 25 pounds, and she's throwing guys across the room and like beating up all these guys. And it's just like, I, what? It's kind of like Nancy in Stranger Things. It's like
Right.
Nancy in Stranger Things. There was this good, almost like mama bearness to her, where
Yeah.
like she wanted to fight, but now she's like the only person that's shooting the only person with a gun that's going to be shooting the mind flayer. It's like all this girl boss stuff. Like people
Yeah.
are over it, but when they watch Avengers Doomsday, whether
And the fact she broke up with Steve because he wanted 6 little chicken nuggets. You know, right?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
yeah, she needed to be an independent woman. She needed to find herself.
Yeah. It
Um,
was I was maddening. Absolutely
oh, it's
maddening. I hated it.
but like you said, like people will go to the theater and be like, "Wow, I've been told that masculinity is bad, and the masculinity that we're seeing in these, old Marvel movies isn't trying to diminish women or
Right.
be this authoritarian ruler or just major macho man. I feel this sense as a man and also like as a superhero, like even speaking for like Captain America, it's like, I want to go serve my country because I care
Right.
about my country. I want to go protect the people that I love. And there's people that are innocent that are being hurt and used and abused. And I want to take
Right.
this special ability that I have to provide and protect. And hopefully we get to see that in Avengers Doomsday, where it's like fathers are important. They are
Yeah.
essential.
You know where you
Masculinity
did
is
see
important.
you know where you did see that at? Did you ever watch Superman and Lois?
Uh Superman and Lois, was that a movie or a show?
It was it was a CW series maybe like 2 or 3
Oh yeah,
years
I never
ago.
watched the CW.
Listen,
Unfortunately, yeah.
listen, listen, listen. Me neither. But that was the best version of Superman I've ever seen. And like, I'm not
Mm.
saying that like because I'm a huge Superman fan.
I gotta check it
the,
out.
the here's the premise. The premise is that it's like 15 years after Superman and Lois get married. They're living on their
Yep.
farm in Smallville, and they have two teenage
Yep.
sons who are twins. So one gets superpowers, the other doesn't. And so the they always say like it's so hard to write for Superman because he's like such a morally pure good character, and that's true. It's very hard to write morally pure good characters because
Yep.
where you're going to find your drama at. But the drama there was like, how do I save the world and get home in time for dinner and not make Lois
Yeah.
mad that like I'm not there and properly raising the kids, and the kids feel like I've abandoned them to be super, like it was like this. It was amazing. And like the whole series, like they had this like one subtle, like there was a lesbian scene, like, or like a
Mm.
character, and then they completely wrote her out. Like it was just gone, like forgotten. Like and I think a lot of that has to do with who became CEO of the CW at the time that
Yep.
transition happened. But so they wrote that out, and then the rest of the thing is just this family like coming together, and it was unbelievable. And I just Play School in the chat says wish they could have done without the CW Supergirl. That is true. That is true. But that was, I think, one of the best Supermans I've seen. Probably I would
Yep.
put right under uh the OG. I can't think of his name. But but the one that got paralyzed, Christopher Reeves.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Christopher
so
Reeves.
so yeah, I think I would put him right under Christopher Reeves in terms of just incredible Superman work.
Well, and then that's what
That
like people. I mean, in general, if you're trying to cater, even like going back to Marvel, it's like you're trying to cater to kids a little bit too, because you want them to grow up, and you got these new phases for like new superheroes, and you're developing a story and want them to grow up, and then eventually they have kids, and then you want them to be buying tickets and going to the theater. It's like they want to feel this like connection.
Hey,
And
we got a $10 super chat. We got a $10 super chat. Yo, hey, what's up? Thank you, Jesus is King 51. There we go. So
let's
sorry,
go,
I got to
dude. That's
interrupt the show
awesome.
for a super chat. Yeah,
You
yeah.
gotta
$10.
you gotta celebrate that stuff. I love it.
Yeah, man.
And that's, I mean, what people are looking for is like this connection where it's like, okay, like, yeah, I want this good guy to win. I want evil to lose. I like to see that they're becoming like father figures and that they're interested in relationship and they're not trying to push some sort of agenda. Like, because you go and to be entertained, not to be preached to. And
Yes.
that's where I think a lot of times too, like, again, I'll relate it to sports. I want to go to sports as an outlet away from the craziness of life and politics. I don't, as a conservative Christian guy, need some performative prayer before every single game and some like major conservative talking points or some conservative organization that's broadcast and celebrated by teams and on the goalposts and end zones and stuff. It's like, no, I want to go and watch sports and watch the greatest athletes. I want to go to the movie theater and want to watch a good story with good actors and actresses. Sometimes they're not going to be that good of actors and actresses. Sometimes the writing's not going to be great, but you can go to the movie and be like, wow, that is not the greatest thing I've ever seen, but I was entertained. And I felt like this is money well spent. And at times it's like, if you're going to preach a message, maybe you could do it subtly. Like the CW, it's like Superman's now a dad. You're able to preach a message that's not in somebody's face where he needs to like sit down like Will does and be like, okay, here's my empowerment moment, as a homosexual, or as Superman, here's my sit down, here's the empowering moment as a father. It's like, no, like you don't need to explain these things, just like incorporate them in media, and people will start relating to it more, and they feel like it's an outlet. And they don't feel like every time I open social media, it's politics. Every time I turn on the TV, it's politics. When I go to the movies, it's politics. When I turn on Netflix, it's politics.
Yeah.
It's like,
But
I just want to be entertained.
that's what we do with faith-based films, right? And so, I have a
Oh,
lot of
yes.
I have a lot of
Oh,
experience working at pretty high levels in the
facing the
faith-based film
giants.
industry. Yeah, yeah, you have the altar call scene, right? But the reason is I don't I think people know this. By the way, the super chat actually left a comment, but it didn't come up in OBS. But it says, "Love the commentary. Keep up with the live streams. Jesus is King 51." Thank you for that. But
Yeah,
when it
that's
comes
awesome.
to
Was that your first big super chat?
that was the biggest super chat I've had so far. Yeah, yeah.
Let's
Woohoo!
go. That's awesome.
We're making it work.
I love it.
So, but what happened was I don't know how many people know this story, but it's really important. The reason the faith-based industry is the way it is not because there's a lack of talent or a lack of money or a lack of funding or anything like that. The reason it was is because they realized pretty early on that a Christian movie isn't going to be in the theaters for long, and so they had to sell the DVDs. And so they realized, well, the only place we can really sell DVDs is on the shelves of Lifeway Christian bookstores or family Christian bookstores, or
Mm.
like in general. And so in Nashville, they decided, well, who's the target shopper of these Christian bookstores? And it was 35-year-old moms. So basically, at that point, all the films, Christian films, are marketed towards women, right? So this is how you get, and this isn't just films. This is like K-Love, music, right? Like everything
Yep.
in the Christian entertainment space that had to be sold on the shelves of Lifeway Christian Bookstore was geared towards the target shopper of who shopped at Lifeway Christian Bookstore. So all
Yep.
of our entertainment and media became very feminized. So there wasn't any really good masculine entertainment unless it was marketed for the women to bring their husbands to get this is the actual industry term, okay? They called them fix him ups because the
Oh,
like Fireproof and Courageous was the women bringing their husbands in hopes that their husbands would repent of whatever, right? And so that's how that like came about. And then what they realized was it's so hard to market these things like globally or nationally. It's so hard to market it to everybody. So instead what they decided to do, they said, what if we just marketed to a pastor, and then that pastor would buy tickets to the whole theater, and then that way we can sort of subsidize the ticket sales, and Variety or Box Office Mojo or whatever would still report it as like 300 tickets sold, or that it was sold out. But
yep.
if you go there, it was empty. And so like now you have this sort of like nonprofit, artificially inflated ticket subsidy that makes a movie successful whether it's good or not. And so now the only thing that matters is, does the movie is there anything in the movie that the pastor would get in trouble for? Right? Like
Yep.
right? So now you have to like really sanitize the film, and it certainly can't make any of the women in the church mad, right? Because
Yep.
we know pastors have, they're fearful of their women in their church. So
Yep.
it became anti-men. A lot of the Christian film programming, it became anti-men. It became overly evangelistic because the idea was that the pastor could give away the tickets as kind of like gospel tracts. And so, there had to be some sort of evangelical point. And none of this was like, yeah, but is it a good story? Right?
Yep.
Is it actually a good movie? And then, let me ask you this, because I don't think we don't think about this. Like, what's your favorite Christian movie that's not a faith based film, or is not even like it could be a secular film, but like is a
but
Christian
it
movie
but
that
it
you
like
enjoy?
essentially has like a Christian undertone or Christian message to it.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
So I mean, the first thing I would point to would be Lord of the Rings. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
is
yeah.
that what you mean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
like
I know. Well, that works.
I mean, I just think of something like that where again, like Tolkien, he wrote
Yeah,
in
Chronicles of Narnia, Tolkien. Yeah, yeah.
like and C.S. Lewis, obviously just incredible minds, incredible stories, and then someone that's able to adapt that on screen. I just think like there's clearly like Christ-like um, characters. There's legitimate good and legitimate evil, and there's challenges and temptation. And I think the Lord of the Rings just tells such an amazing, story with Christian elements to it, and that's a big reason that I geek out over it, and I enjoy that
Yeah.
a lot.
And that's why it's
And
lasted for so many generations too. I think. I think that's about. I was gonna say Home Alone, but
that
but
I don't know if I don't know if I can totally get on board with all that Home
have
Alone is
have you have you
Christian. I
have you watched
that
the like? Because there was a TikTok recently that was kind of like, but it was going off of Les Lansfear's Reformed Pubcast version. Have you seen that? It came out like 9 or 10 years ago, and he did a complete Reform breakdown of the film. It's I don't know how you escape the guy with the hand on both sides and and then his prayer at the table in between the two cherubim. And I don't know, man. I don't know. And Santa's like the bad guy in it, and
yeah.
right. And so I don't know.
And like
but
and it's
my
one of
point
those
is,
things where it's at times like it's like, all right, maybe this seems like a stretch, but in general it's like, all right, like if that's what people are taking away, like maybe that's a way that like God's using it for his good.
yeah, but
And it's
the
like
point is
that's
though
cool.
that even the unbelievers, and I don't think we've really understood this, but like even unbelievers, like they accidentally reveal that they believe in the God of the Bible, right? And so right,
Yeah.
I'm a presuppositionalist. I don't know what you are, but
Mm.
but just this idea that like every unbeliever is suppressing truth and unrighteousness, and they can't help to like just expose the fact that they're an image bearer, right? And so like you
Yeah.
see these movies, and this is like the approach to film I think we should take is like, you know, how does this film, glorify, not necessarily because some films don't glorify God, but how does it just like reveal that the person that made this is an image bearer?
Yeah.
And we
Well,
do
because I mean
that like,
that's the interesting time when like I'm not a musician, I don't play any instruments, but there's times where we can listen to music. You might even go to like, I don't know, bad example, go to a jazz bar and you're like, wow, that person just sings so incredibly well and plays that instrument so incredibly well. And you think that's like, wow, like, does that not make you think of like how like God made that individual and that mind of the individual and the talents of that individual? And you can feel like, wow, like it's incredible what image bearers are able to do with the talents that God's graciously provided. And
right,
I just people have to start thinking that, and they do think of that in entertainment, where it's just like all this stuff can't just be a coincidence.
yeah,
How
yeah,
someone's able to, like, again, like I'll go back to like Lord of the Rings. Like, not only can someone think up like Tolkien a different language and these people groups and these characters and this narrative, but someone's able to adapt that, like Peter Jackson, and put that on film where it's just like like in these elements where it's just like there's sacrifice here and challenge and grace and love. And people have to start thinking about, like you're saying, this isn't just like randomness. This isn't just like emptiness. And there's something that this points to, and like, what's the best example of someone being sacrificial, or being a good mentor, and getting through a challenge? Like, I know it's like you look back to it's like, oh, the Bible's got a lot of those stories. And
Yeah,
like, oh, actually, like Jesus is like the best form of like sacrifice. Even if you're not a Christian, you're like,
right.
well, if I'm going to think of like the biggest sacrifice, even if I don't, believe it and consider myself a Christian, I'm probably going to think of Jesus Christ and the cross.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly it, man. Well, I'm gonna keep on live streaming, but I don't want to hold you prisoner here. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
I gotta go in a few minutes. So
one last thing is Turning Point still doing the? Are they doing an alternate halftime show?
as far as I know, they are.
Okay.
I know for sure that like Forrest Frank and Corey Asbury are not going to be a part of it at all. I don't
Yeah, and
really know.
I felt like Forrest Frank was the only one that could justify that sort of large stage currently.
Yeah, because Corey Asbury
do
needs
you,
to figure out.
the reason I
Yeah,
bring that up
a
is
few
because
things.
I think every year there's a complaint about like who it gets selected on the Super Bowl stage,
Yeah, it
and
sounds
my
like they're going to
question
keep
is
doing it.
my
Go for it.
question for you is there a Christian artist, uh, and it doesn't matter if they're like in the faith-based genre of Christian music or not, but just a Christian artist in general that could that could justify the filling of a Super Bowl stage that's not a DEI sort of like, well, we need a Christian this year.
Um, I would have to think that like Forrest Frank would be one of those that.
I
Um,
think Forrest Frank. I think you know what, I would agree with you. The only thing I would say about Forrest Frank is he just doesn't have the longevity that I think is required of a of like he's still new, but like 10
Yeah,
years
because
from now, I think for
that's
sure.
what I would say. Like right now, if I was going to choose somebody, because it's like, all right, a lot of people know like Lauren Daigle, but like Lauren Daigle, like people are still going to be like, well, like she's got a great voice and stuff, and she's done like some like national anthems, and I think there's no like big Christian hip hop people like Lecrae could never fill
No way,
a
no way,
stadium like that. He just wouldn't
no way.
have like Forrest Frank. I feel like especially with how big he was on TikTok and continues to be, and he's got an interesting sound and this popness to him, and he's young and he's like and he's always coming out with music. I feel like he's even like Savannah Bananas. They did one of his like a
Yeah,
dance to his songs. Like
yeah.
he could
Kids in Africa
easily.
were dancing to his music. Kids in Africa were dancing to his music. So it's
Yeah,
just like crazy.
I
Yeah,
think he would be somebody that
I
if
think
the
he's the
NFL
guy I
was
would be
crazy enough
watching.
and said we're going to hire Forrest Frank to do this, I think it actually would go really well, and I think people would actually really enjoy it.
Yeah, the guy that they who's the guy that I don't even know the guy's name, that the Spanish guy that's doing it this
Bad
year.
Bunny.
Bad Bunny, yeah, that's right. That like I don't think he meets the requirements of just for a lot of reasons. His wokeness and the immigration stuff could just completely off, not on the table for this discussion. Just in terms of the amount of number ones he's had and stuff, and just he not a lot of people know about him. But if I were to say a Christian, and by Christian I mean I mean like the closest we have is someone that could properly fill. It'd probably be. I think he's a Seventh Day Adventist, but it'd be Weird Al Yankovic. But
Oh my goodness,
I
that
think
would
that's the closest we got.
be
Because what I don't want.
the
This is what I don't want.
wonkiest halftime show ever.
Dude, every time there's a Super Bowl announcement, the comments are just filled with still not Weird Al. Like it's just like out of control. There's like massive campaigns. But what I don't want is I don't want us to like look at Bad Bunny and go, that's just like a woke DEI sort of like diversity character that they're doing to put in a political message. But we haven't invested in our own artists that are even like on the same page that could do that. Besides maybe Forrest Frank, after he, you know, he still, I think he has a lot of career ahead of him. Because
Yeah,
I feel like an artist has to for the Super Bowl needs to have at least like 2 or 3 generations of fans in the same stadium. That's really hard
yeah,
to do. That's really hard to do.
yeah, and I
But
think like in general, like probably to like my last point for this is I called for a boycott when it came to Kendrick Lamar. I felt like he's been blasphemous. So like me as a Christian, I'm like in general, I don't really care for the guy's music. I think he's used this crown of thorns and this messianic language that I feel like is blasphemous, and just I won't stand for it. And he's doing this whole like, I need to diss Drake, and then you got Serena Williams out there, and you're pushing this weird message, and then like Bad Bunny, they're pushing this. And again, I could talk for days and days and days about this, but the internationalization of the NFL, I think, is hurting them. They're taking games away from hometown fans, and they're having them in
Yeah,
Brazil, and they're having them in
that's
London, and
true.
they're having them in Mexico. And it's like, I get that they're trying to expand, and make it a worldwide game, but when you have Bad Bunny, where 98% of his music is not in English, like, you are telling, we are catering to
Right,
people that are not
right.
American, you know, and,
Yeah,
and that's
it's
and
okay to
that's
be.
and that's
It's
what
okay for this. It's okay for the NFL to be America. But I'm gonna let you go, man, dude. Thank you so much
yep.
for joining. You're like the first guest on my live streams that I've started up. So
Dude,
thank you for
congratulations
hopping
on the
on.
super chats. Really
Yeah,
appreciate you having me.
man. $10 in super chats. That's awesome, man. So,
Love it,
more to
brother.
come. More to come. So, all right, man. See
God
ya.
bless.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining that call with with Jon Root, man, good friend of mine. Uh, but that was a great interview. That was a great interview. I see I got people watching on Kick right now. That's great. I got some more stuff I want to talk about. I'm not done, man. That was only the first hour. Like I told you, I'm live streaming for real. That was only the first hour. And I can't stop streaming and at least until dinner's ready. You know, like that's not you can't do that. You can't stop streaming until dinner's ready. But Jon Root, thank you so much for coming on the stream and doing that for me. I really appreciate that. Let's go to. I have some stuff that I pulled up, more entertainment news, and I feel so good about this. Let me tell you, sometimes I say stuff, and I feel like I'm the only one in the world that is saying what needs to be that is saying stuff, and then I see an article like this from uh, this is from Variety. I'm not going to pull up the whole article, but if I pull it up here, the Bowen Yang explains SNL exit and confronts criticism that he had no range. Anytime I would try something different, people still said he's being gay and Asian as always. Dude, like, do you guys watch Saturday Night Live? Like, you watch Saturday Night Live? They had Bowen Yang play JD Vance. JD Vance is this sort of macho, butch, sort of like from West Virginia guy. And they said, "Hey, Bowen, can you make him, fake and gay?" And that was Bowen. Like everything that Bowen did in Saturday Night Live was a gay version of that thing. And I've said this for years that he's terrible on SNL and that he only has one mode. And it's like whatever character he plays is the gay version of that thing he plays. And the fact that Variety is writing about his need to respond to that, I just look, man. I feel absolutely justified. I was absolutely right. Call me Lorne Michaels 2.0, but I was absolutely dead on about that, and I still believe the only reason he's famous is because he's gay and Asian. More so gay. I don't think Asian doesn't matter. No one's like I don't know anybody that's anti-Asian, but but definitely because he's gay. So I think that's incredible. I called it. I called it. I said he's leaving. He's leaving SNL because he's not good. And his role in Wicked has provided him more opportunities, and he's peacing out as soon as that as soon as that went down. So awesome. I'm glad Bowen Yang is gone. A lot of you guys might not know, but like, huge fan of Saturday Night Live. I love the history of it. I think it's an iconic cultural institution in the United States. It's super important. It's an incubator of more pop culture legends than any other institution in the United States. Maybe besides late night. Uh, late night TV. Oh, Saturday Night Live first, and then like late night TV going through the eras. So like Conan, Carson, Leno, right? Tonight Show, that Letterman, that sort of thing. The amount of stars and celebrities they've created, I'll include Daily Show too, right? Daily Show, all the stars that they've created from indie artists and stuff like that. I think Saturday Night Live is like the top of the top, the best of the best in terms of building out and incubating new comedic talent that go out and like take over the world. But when you see someone like Bowen Yang on there, and he's just consistently in sketch after sketch playing the same person, it just drove me nuts week after week after week. And so I'm really happy Bowen Yang is gone. I'm really happy Bowen Yang is on the out. And it seems like he believes he was on the out for all the right reasons. so it's true. It's true. Listen, look. If I were to pull up any Bowen Yang sketch of JD Vance, not even of JD Vance, of just a Bowen Yang sketch of anybody, it is absolutely 100% just the gay version of whatever that person is. Like that, like just that's it. And so super happy he's gone. And I hope that they replace him well with someone who is not a DEI cast member as Bowen Yang was, which I did say that, by the way. I think I said that I think I said it on Facebook, but it auto copies the threads, and I never check threads. But I did one time after I posted that, and it had like thousands of comments of people just attacking me because I didn't like Bowen Yang. But I'm right. I'm right. Even Bowen Yang feels it. He feels the weight that he is incapable of doing anything else but playing a gay person. So I'm right. I don't care. I don't care. That is just that is how I feel. By the way, Netflix has come out and confirmed that there will be no ninth episode. I don't believe him. I think this is just a long play. I think a year from now, maybe a year from now, we're gonna get. I'm just kidding. did you guys see the conformity the conformity gate sort of like theories? They were so good and so in depth that I thought for like I like it, like they convinced me. Like they really did. I was like, this is either true or the Duffer brothers really screwed up, man. They really screwed up. So Place Golf says Netflix will just use AI to make the real fifth season. Yeah, that is probably true. That's probably true. Why would you not? It'd be way cheaper, right? Like it's way cheaper. You don't have to worry about uh, union rules. You don't have to worry about expensive CGI budgets. You just make. Dude, honestly, speaking of that, did you guys see? I did a quick Rumble stream today, but I did you guys see the AI re-edit of excuse me, the AI re-edit of uh I am losing my train of thought. It was the AI re-edit of Stranger Things scene, and uh I don't think I retweeted it. Did I Did I bookmark it? I hope I bookmarked it. No, I didn't. But I do have some bookmarks I want to talk about. This is actually really great because I didn't know this. It's a Gundam. You guys follow It's a Gundam? It's a Gundam shared uh this so I don't know if you guys know the story of Toy Story 2. Uh Somebody he said okay, we'll go back to Toy Story 2. But you said I did retweet it? How come I didn't how come it didn't show up in my let's see. Let's see. I thought I did retweet it because I had somebody comment on it. Maybe I just retweeted it a lot longer than I thought I did. I need to start bookmarking things. Let's see. Well, Play School, if you find it, feel free to send me a DM and I'll pull it up. But and we'll come back to the conformity gate, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna do. I really want to talk about this Toy Story 2 thing because I didn't know this. This yep, I got it. I got it, Play School. And so let me pull up. We'll do Toy Story 2 because I've been setting that up. So It's a Gundam. It's a Gundam said. So first off, during Toy Story 2 1999, Pixar accidentally erased about 90% of the movie with a single command. The studio backups failed. The film survived only because an employee on maternity leave had a copy saved at home. Pixar later called it a miracle. So basically, somebody formatted the drive, which contained all the Toy Story 2 footage that they were using to make the movie, and it basically erased the movie from screen. Like, it was gone. Like, literally, like, it wasn't like a partial format. Like, they wiped the entire server completely by accident too, by the way. And then It's a Gundam said as a reward, Disney laid her off 2 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. But it turns out the reason she was laid off is because this woman became the producer of Lightyear and directly advocated the idea of making the film based off the real Buzz Lightyear. And she did Toy Story 4, Layoff Justified. Apparently her name was Galen Sussman. And so she was able to save Toy Story 2, but not Pixar from being under the thumb of the woke Disney movements of the 2000s. And so anyway, I just find that really interesting that this like woman is like this legend at Pixar because she really did save Pixar. And then she also almost pretty much destroyed it all like at the same time. So unbelievable. And now let's go to I want to pull up this just that shows just how incredible AI is becoming. And look, guys, we're like this is still dial-up internet levels of AI. Right? We're not there yet, but this for sure is like, okay, so if somebody re-edited the final fight scene of Stranger Things to be able to cut this together so that instead of everybody fighting one giant mind slayer, they got to see the battle they always wanted, and it's fighting hundreds of Demogorgons. Look at this. Like you can barely tell where the AI and the actual film footage is to a certain degree, but it gets there. This right here for sure is AI. Though. Like yeah, you can see like it hits 1, and then 3 just spontaneously combust as a result of it. But look, this is dial-up internet. We're in the dial-up internet phase. That right there too. Like he throws it this way. Well, first off, he throws a pretty long grenade. I've never seen a grenade like shaped that way, but he throws that and then it rolls in the opposite direction. I don't think it hits anything. There's just like no proper understanding of physics there with that roll. But uh so anyway, but still, man, like this is like it's forgivable. So, but like, yeah, look at that. Like, it's like we're getting into this stage. We're getting into this stage, really, that like fans are going to make their own edit, their own versions of Stranger Things. And so, like, when you look at Conformity Gate, and everybody's really mad with the way Stranger Things ended because it doesn't feel like it's resolved, and not enough, like, there wasn't enough people that died to justify the stakes of everything, and almost everybody, well, I mean, almost everybody made it back safely. um you know, it was just a really and then the way they end it with, well, the ending is how you want it to be, sort of nonsense. People are like, no, I don't want to come up with my own ending. I pay Netflix to do that. Like, that's what I want. I want you guys, the professional storytellers, to tell a story with a solid conclusion. And so I think like that sort of like postmodernism has entered the script writing sort of mentality, where at the end of the day, like we don't have anything, we don't have our stories resolved anymore. And like this is exactly what happened with Dexter. If you guys ever watched Dexter, about the serial killer on Showtime, right? Like the worst ending of all times of any popular series. And the reason was because Showtime told the writers directly, you're not allowed to kill Dexter at the end. You're not allowed to kill him. And that's how you get the final scene of Lumberjack Dexter in that show, right? And it was, the writers were actually protesting the Showtime executives because they wouldn't let the story be resolved in a way that the audience and the writers actually thought that story should be resolved. And so I just find it fascinating, all the backlash towards Stranger Things, so much that they thought, now there has to be a secret episode. There has to be a secret episode. It can't end that way. And you go, no, the Duffer Brothers just fumbled the ball. They just fumbled it. They just kind of took the money and ran. You know, that's exactly what happened. You know, and so I just found that incredible that we live in a time now. Probably by the end of this year, I feel like by the end of this year, you guys can clip this, but at the end of this year, I think you'll be able to re-edit an entire movie or TV show in the way that you think makes a better story. And we'll see what gets more views. Right? Like so, in other news, your boy was quoted again, but this time in Nerdrotic's review of Stranger Things. Let's pull that up, shall we? That's the worst frame to pause on. Hold on. Okay. Okay. I think I got to unmute this tab. Here we go. All right.
Being okay with being gay is how he connected with his powers. A slavish adherence to the message best described by Marcus Pittman on X. Season 5, episode 7 of Stranger Things felt like a gay version of a pure flicks movie. The left has to embrace the worst things about faith-based movies. They have altar calls that interrupt the story. Now, Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, so that was it. That was the only mention. So first off, thank you, Nerdrotic. I know you're not watching this. But if you were, I would say thank you, Nerdrotic. Thank you for the quote. Really, we just started streaming at the beginning of this year, so to already be quoted by Nerdrotic feels pretty great. It feels pretty great. And I'm coming for a spot on that panel, man. I'm coming. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna do everything in my power to get there. So if you want to see me on the Nerdrotic panel sometime this year. That's my goal, is to build up enough tension on the attention, build up tension and attention on this channel. Please tell people to subscribe, sign up for alerts on live streams as well. Enter the chat, comment, like, do all those sort of things, and then share the rebroadcast of the stream as well. Really excited that actually, you know what? I get to say I was quoted on Nerdrotic's channel twice. Twice I was quoted by Nerdrotic already in 2026. Yes, it was the same quote. But Nerdrotic quoted me, right? Like, that's pretty great. I feel really happy about it. I'm really happy about it. I can't believe that a channel as big as Nerdrotic even responded to my little X post. But I'm thankful that he did. So that is cool. You can actually go to Nerdrotic's channel and you can watch that whole, how long is this review? It's 56 minutes, a 56-minute long review of Stranger Things season 5 by Nerdrotic. And I'm at the very tail end of it. So very briefly, you know. But look, I'm famous now. I got the super chats coming in. You know, it's awesome. It's awesome. Don't let it go to your head. Okay, it's not going to my head. Oh, I got a lot of work to do to be able to get on the Nerdrotic panel, but it's a good start to the year. Super encouraging and motivated. Play Skull says we got to get Jason Farley quoted now too. Yeah, man. Jason, honestly, he's not going to live stream like me, and I don't think he's going to do anything that really gathers the attention of someone like Nerdrotic on the social media space. He's kind of like not on the social. He has a great Substack, but all the other social media he's not really on. But he, like, if Nerdrotic were to have Jason Farley on the panel for his podcast, Jason would be a phenomenal guest for that. It would be well worth Nerdrotic's time to figure out who Jason Farley is, and he could tell you all about the times he got the Netflix deal before COVID. So, and all the fun that came with that. Yeah, that would be great. Me and Jason on the panel at the same time would be way too much. It would just be way too much fun. It'd be way too much fun. Yeah, Jason would be Jason, you're right, dude. Jason would be phenomenal guest on that show. Yeah. So let's see what else is new in the entertainment world. What's going on in the world? I know I think just everything is really focused on probably everything is focused on what's happening in Minnesota right now, which I'm not interested in. Conformity Gate is still trending. Why? Bothering my niece who believed in conformity gate propaganda. Hey, is episode 9 out yet? Leave me alone. That's funny. Netflix just crashed, guys. We're getting another episode. Trust. Conformity gate. Clowns. Well, at least we went crazy together. I love this. Look, there's something so incredibly my entire timeline now that Stranger Things is over. there's some we crashed Netflix. That's awesome. There's something not there, but there's something like just so insanely wholesome about that whole thing. I really do believe that. Like there's just something really insanely wholesome about the whole conformity gate thing. The idea that everything that Vecna that we saw at the end was just a dream sort of inception by Vecna. And there was a lot of thought and details that now that I look at the conformity gate theories and I'm like, well, why did the Duffer Brothers do that? Because that if they didn't do it because there's a secret episode, that's really bad. You know, like them all wearing that weird color orange and all sitting with their arms crossed was just not good. Like the continuity errors were just not good. The different colors of I think the Ferris wheel was just it was a completely different color in two different scenes. I think they tried to say that that's because it was in Vecna's head, and so it wasn't being remembered properly, or like I think maybe there was reference, but it just really didn't make any sense. Like it really didn't make any sense, and so but I thought there was something really wholesome, and this is what I'll talk about. Actually, real quick, I want to get. For some reason, I'm not able to stream to Rumble because it wants me to verify my account. And I want to do that because I'm probably going to go for another hour. And I want to at least get another hour in on Rumble because you have to log your hours on Rumble too. So if you guys can just hang with me for a bit in the chat. Yeah, PlaySchool says it could just be bad continuity errors. I think that's exactly it, which is why it was really funny. I thought I thought it was really funny that that a lot of the continuity errors were I have to verify my phone number, guys. Hold on one second. I'm not gonna say that number out loud. What's wrong with you guys? All right, now am I good? Now can I go to Rumble? Rumble missed the entire sending data. Sending data. Hey, I think that worked. I think that worked on Rumble. Holy cow. Let's see. Refresh my Rumble. Yeah, we're live. And it says live with Jon Root, but that was an hour ago because Rumble never went live for it. Well, that's okay. That's okay. Let's talk about the new major Rumble feature that came out today. It says upcoming, but did it go live? Please wait till your video finishes processing. Let's learn about Rumble together, shall we? Let's learn about Rumble live streaming together. This will be very entertaining. I'm sure it will be. Okay, we're live. Okay, we're live. We're live on Rumble. Okay, we are live on Rumble. Hey, Rumble, welcome. Let's talk about the big announcement today with Chris Pavlovsky announcing that there is now a creator wallet app that you can do with Rumble, so you can get tips cross-platform. And I think this is a great idea. I think it's really good too, because I would imagine does anybody know what Rumble's cut is of the tipping feature? Does Rumble take a cut, or do they just get a small? Well, I mean, even if they get a small transaction of every crypto, I would still be taking a cut somewhere, right? So let's see. Let's see if does Rumble. What is it? The Rumble content creator crypto. Maybe I don't know what's it called. Take a cut. Let's see. I don't see. Like let's see. Rumble's new crypto feeder wallet. Yes, Rumble's new crypto wallet system aims. Here we go. Yes, Rumble's new crypto wallet system aims to let creators keep more of their earnings by bypassing traditional payment processors with low or zero fees for direct fan-to-fan creator tips, though standard blockchain network fees, gas fees apply for external transfers. The Rumble still takes a cut from other monetization like ad revenue. But it doesn't really tell you kind of what that is. But it would just be the gas fees. So that could be expensive, man. I remember like one time I was trying to transfer. Do you remember a social media company called Minds, Minds? I was on that for a while, and I guess you generate revenue on Minds from the Minds token or whatever every time. So I was on that for a while, and I built up a lot of Minds, and I think some people gave me Minds or whatever, and I completely forgot about it. Never logged back into that app. And I logged back into it one time, and I think I had like nearly like $1,000 in Minds because like the value went up for some reason. I think this is probably right during like the COVID era where like freedom of speech and all this sort of stuff was like going like really crazy. And I think the quartering was like pushing it really hard, and like all these like free speech advocate live streamers and content creators were pushing Minds, and so the value went up really high. And so like I transferred it out, and then I think I had like $300 left. I think it was like 1,300, and I transferred 1,000, kept 300 in there, and I had like $300 left. And then I tried to transfer that $300 out, but the gas fees was more money than the transferring out. And I don't know if I was doing anything wrong. Like, I don't know what was happening there, but I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So I don't know. I don't know what the gas fees are on getting your money out of crypto or exchanging it to another platform or anything like that. But I imagine crypto was still kind of like, this is like 2 years after the first high of Bitcoin, right? So it's still a lot of things are working out, and I feel like they've probably worked out a lot of that stuff now. But yeah, man. Look, man, if you could, if this is Rumble's way of beating Kick's monetization, it's a pretty big deal. You know, like because Kick gives you 95% of all super chats and monthly subs, right? Like if you gift subs in Kick chat, like I get 95% of what's contributed. Like that is incredible. Like that's incredible. I think YouTube I might get 70%, and then Twitch is I heard Twitch was 50-50. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm not going to stream on Twitch. I'd be banned in one day. Are you kidding me? It looks like Rumble takes a cut too. I don't know what Rumble's cut is, but if any way you can bypass those fees, if Rumble's making money based off the crypto transactions, then that sounds good to me. And I'm okay with trying it. But you know, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens on Rumble. I actually got to pull up I don't even have my Rumble chat up, do I? Do I have to do? Listen, if anybody is out there and you guys know a good chat management system for OBS that just works and allows super chats to pop up on the screen and all this other sort of stuff, if you guys know like where I can find that, please let me know. I don't want to pay too much for a monthly subscription on it until I start bringing in a lot more super chats than I am now. But I for sure would like to know how on earth do I solve my chat problem, which which is an absolute nightmare, I feel like. Let's see. Let's pop out chat. Take this link. And then I have to reset this every time for every stream. That can't be can't possibly be true. Do I have a creator dashboard that could do it? Maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Dashboard. Live streaming. Live streaming. I am live here. But what I want to do, if I click on that, I just go to the regular video. That doesn't take me to the like an actual dashboard like Kick does, where I have the option to do my chat stuff. Channels, connect, earn, moderation, pro features, channels, stats, chat settings. Maybe this is it. Light mode, dark mode. No, that just gives me the option of whether I want light mode or dark mode. Default. That lets me know what color my chat name is. That doesn't help me. That doesn't help me. None of that is helpful. Okay. Anyway, I'm not gonna try to figure out Rumble on stream anymore. I'm still trying to figure that stuff out. But no, all that to say is I'm very excited about anything that can be done to help independent content creators make more money doing live streams is like a really big deal for me, and I really like it. My question, of course, is not so much to how do content creators make money on live streams. I think what's a more important question to be asked, excuse me, is how do, excuse me, my throat's getting dry. I think a more important question to ask is how do independent content creators on platforms like Rumble and YouTube and Kick, all of them, how can they be found and discovered? This is the thing that is really important question to solve when it comes to independent filmmaking and more narrative content creation. But how is it that someone who is new can have that feeling that they can go viral? Right? Like that is insanely significant and insanely important. And actually, real quick, I want to see if I can change the title of my stream. Can you change the title of your stream midstream? I don't know if you can. I see. Okay, no more Rumble tutorials on this stream. But like that's the thing that's missing, right? Like the thing that's missing on Kick, on YouTube, on I mean, who cares? Nobody cares about Twitch. Kick and YouTube, and even on Facebook, or X. Look, I live stream on X, right? We had a guy on. My live stream on X has. You're not gonna believe this. You're not gonna believe this, but I'm scrolling up. Let's see. It is really hard to find things on X. So I live stream on X. Look at this. I'll share the screen here. So I posted this. I didn't tag John because if you tag someone on X, it like limits your reach. But look at this. 1 like. 1 like. You know? Like this is what I'm saying. Like these social media platforms, you need to be, oh no, we're gonna get an infinite loop. Can't have that. So Netflix just crashed after many fans expected a secret final episodes of Stranger Things was releasing. Well, didn't they announce that it wasn't happening? Why did it? I'm still curious why it would crash if they announced that it wasn't happening. Uh, I don't know what happened there, but the thing is, like, these social media platforms, they need to push out content to new people. Like, this is a thing that YouTube is really the only one that's good at, honestly. Like I still feel like if I upload something on YouTube, whether YouTube Short or something, there's a Mike Phantom for the follow. Thanks, Mike Phantom. Thank you for the follow, Mike. I still feel like there's like a chance of something going viral. I was crazy. Look, I'll go back in time when we were doing Apologia Studios and we'd put stuff out, man. And like it felt like every time we uploaded something, every time something was published on YouTube, there was a chance this could go nuts. I remember my first million view video at Apologia, like how great that felt. And now it just feels like on any platform whatsoever, the chance of going viral is so insanely rare and like not possible that it's almost it's almost depressing uploading, right? You hear about all these creators, who have mental trauma from just like the sheer amount of uploading and stuff that they have to do just to kind of like, you got to keep the gas on the pedal, and it prioritizes frequency and watch time over quality, right? And sometimes those aren't necessarily mutual exclusive, but the way it is now, it's just like it feels that way. And so what really needs to happen, and this is for Rumble, so Chris, CEO of Rumble, if you just so happen to be listening to this stream right now, don't know if you are, but if you were to listen to this stream, let me encourage you to put a recommendation engine in. Like, create a way in which new undiscovered talent, because those are the platforms that's going to win. That's why TikTok is as big as it is, because I know I'm talking about this as if it doesn't exist anymore, but TikTok, if you upload something on TikTok, it feels like that thing can go nuts. Like, it feels like every video you put on TikTok can go nuts. Like, that's something that's just completely missing nowadays. I think it's really, really important that social media platforms remember this. PlaySkull says, and you're not just competing with a wider number of people for their attention, but you have to compete with those who will buy the bots to game the algo. I'm not buying a bot, man. I'm not buying bots. I'm not doing it. It's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna, like, I'm too poor. I'm too poor to buy bots. So that is a natural security blanket. But what I like, I want to like compete with the guys that are botting, the big guys that bot, like on a completely fair plane. And like when I come up through the ranks, when they see me coming, they know it. Like the chat is just going nuts. Like I want the chat. Like there's no question that is a real chat. And emojis are being spammed in the chat. Speaking of emoji spamming in the chat, I put some custom emojis in there. If you're a member of the channel, I got one in there, and then I'll be adding more. And if you guys can suggest an emoji, I'll put that in as well. But on Kick, I'm talking about Kick. Rumble too. If we need to do some special emojis on Rumble too, if we're gonna be doing Rumble like crazy. But yeah, man, PlaySkull, bringing out the emojis already. It's great, man. Love to see it. So, but yeah. So Kick is amazing. Like Kick, I just love Kick's process and their platform and the gamification of everything. I really think it's a phenomenal platform, and I just like it. Oh, by the way, we're up to 24 followers all together on Kick. So man, we've been grinding and pushing people to Kick, and slowly one follower after another, we get people on here. So if you're following in the chat, thank you. And if you're not following the chat, go ahead and follow, man. Welcome to my kick stream. Monday and Wednesdays, we're doing the live streams at 4 o'clock. That's what we're doing. This channel is about entertainment and pop culture, and maybe some news coverage every now and then if it's like really like important to do so. But for the most part, really want to keep it kind of narrowly focused on entertainment and on one subject that's not too broad. Scott Fixes It says, been following you since your Apologia days and downloaded Kick off your recommendation. First live stream, hoping it does well for you. Thank you, Scott Fixes It. Appreciate you entering the chat. Really appreciate it, man. Yeah, Apologia Day. So, wow, that's probably that could be like 10 years from now, right? Right? That could be a long time. I started in 2015, so thanks for that. Really appreciate that. Appreciate that follow. Thank you for following me on Kick, by the way. I know it's like I know. Listen, this is why Kick is important, especially for conservatives. I really believe that the next Rush Limbaugh is going to be a live streamer. It's not going to be me. I'm not going to be the next Rush Limbaugh on here on this platform. But I do believe that the ability for the person who's doing the talking to be able to interact directly in real time with the chat, and the chat is able to hold that content creator or talk show host accountable, I think is really incredible. I mean, like, think about it. Like, look at what happened with Hassan, right? So Hassan basically zaps his dog live on live stream, and before the stream was over, that clip of him doing that was sent all around the world. And he lied about it, and he covered it up, and he never just admitted the truth of it. And as a result, he's been losing followers. He's very unhappy. The chat has turned on him, and all he does is talk about Osmond Gold. Now look at someone like Osmond Gold, and Osmond Gold is getting millions of views. He's making millions of dollars. He's on Kick. And I think he streams on Twitch too, but a majority of everything he does is on Kick and YouTube clips, of course. And so he is like crushing it right now. And I don't think like Osmond Gold is like a conservative. He says he believes in like, you know, social programs and all that other sort of stuff. I've listened to him enough to know to kind of figure out where he's at. But he's like a based, what would you call it? Like a Kennedy Democrat or whatever. I don't know what they. But look, Osmond Gold right now is young. He might be. I'm not sure how old he is. But he's at least got another, I would say he has another 10 to 20 years of this up ahead of him, as long as he, you know, doesn't become a lolcow or anything like that. But as long as he keeps remaining consistent and keeps doing what he's doing, he's got 10 to 20 years from now. What does a seasoned live streamer, this is something we don't think about, like, because live streaming's so new, and it's, you know, Osmond Gold, like a few years ago, was just a World of Warcraft live streamer, right? He was just playing video games in his parents' attic. And now he's one of the most, he's one of the most powerful voices, I would say, for Gen Z when it comes to political discourse. And so all those parents that were like, you're never going to accomplish anything playing video games in the attic all day or in the basement all day. Well, actually, now they're the top political commentators in the world. They have the largest audiences. They have the largest platforms. And that's only going to continue to grow, because someone like me is at a disadvantage, because I have to tell people like Scott Fixes It, who came along. I have to tell him, I have to be like, hey, man, download the Kick app. You know, download the Kick app and come and join me there. Because I want people to go there. But Osmond Gold doesn't have to do that, because his target audience is already on Kick. They left Twitch because of the blue-haired purple moderators that were canceling everybody for everything, and not canceling the people that they should. And so now they've all gone to Kick because Kick gives 95% of all revenues back to them and only keeps 5% for operations, right? So there's this is like a much better business model for the artist. So everybody's coming, but Osmond Gold doesn't have to like try to convince older audiences like what Kick is like we do. And so Play Skull says my 15-year-old boy plays one video game for almost 4 hours a day, and now he rocks on the guitar. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. Like the actual guitar, so he's playing, it's not Guitar Hero, but it's like Guitar Hero. And now he can actually play on the actual guitar. Is that what is Rocksmith? Let me look this up. Rocksmith. Okay. So yeah, Rocksmith. So it looks like it's a game in which you can actually learn to. So it's not like Guitar Hero. You can actually learn to play the guitar, bass, and oh, dude, this sounds awesome. Can I play this game to learn the banjo? Scott Fixes says absolutely read your Substack on it, answered big questions and circles about what is truth in the AI age, personal connections, warts and all, is necessary. And do you think Christians should have the edge in that arena because of the lack of need for external validation? They're secure in Christ. Let me see. Warts and all. And do you think Christians should have an edge in that arena because of the lack of need of external validation? Yeah, man. I absolutely think, like, for sure. Play School. I need to know if you can learn the banjo on it, because I have a banjo that I don't know how to play, but I love the banjo and I'd love to learn how to play. But Scott, the question you're asking is, I mentioned this before, is like we look at like Sam Altman and we go, man, AI, and like there's all this doom and gloom and like the end of the world and all this other sort of stuff, right? Right? And then, but we never go, why wasn't the Christians pouring in billions of dollars into AI investment and infrastructure and data centers and all these other sort of things? Why weren't we doing that in the 1980s when researchers were still trying to figure out what AI is and what computers are capable of? Because the guys that's been working on AI, they've been doing it since the 80s and 90s. Like this, it's not new. I talked to a guy. I actually had a conversation with this guy who is just this genius when it comes to artificial intelligence, and he told me he's been working on it since the 80s. And I'm just like, man, like, why are we always like, now we need the help me write a prayer AI chat GPT skin that just is a cheesy modern day evangelical Kayla version of what do you call it? Motivational nonsense. That is like where Christians come in. We always come in at the, like, once things have already sort of shown themselves to be like, maybe useful and not mark of the beast. We're like, okay, well, now we can make our own Christian version of this thing. And it's usually terrible and a ripoff and just complete and utter nonsense. So, but when it comes to content creators, yeah, like all the problems with like content live streamers and kick streamers, all those problems that you come across are, like you have the like the OnlyFans models that are live streaming half naked or something like that, and they're trying to get all this external validation from the chat. And then you got the simps who are like spending money on the OnlyFans model in the chat because they want to feel like, they want to be seen by this OnlyFans chick. So you have like, you have just all that sort of nonsense. And then you have entertainers who want to feel as if they have some sort of validation from their audience, or that they have some purpose and meaning and it's in the stream. And then, something goes really bad for them and they lose their account, and then they just become a drunk, and, then they become a lolcow and they're never able to recover and all this other sort of stuff. Like, but I think Christians, man, like we should be like just owning the live stream space. Like, I mean, could you just remember, don't you guys remember how amazing like early YouTube was when it was like all just like debates. Now, like live streaming wasn't really a thing back then because like the technology didn't really exist for it. But like you would like there'd be a debate video and then you could actually reply to a video with a video and the creator would then respond and like there was all these like apologetic debates and arguments. I remember like when I was like really early on YouTube, like 2006 2007, I was like uploading videos debating with like uh it might have been what it might have been like Matt Dillahunty. Like I didn't know who it was at the time. Either that or the Amazing Atheist. I forget exactly who it was, but I was like doing some debates with it. I don't even know if those videos are still available anymore. But so like but that was like really awesome to be able to use uh a platform like that for debate. And like the fact that I see like all these apologists, besides Kate, who's not like regularly live streaming and debating people and taking calls from the Discord and all that other sort of stuff. Like the fact that I don't see that is like crazy to me. It's like, guys, we should be owning this. Dude, I'm telling you, Tim Kate on Kick debating people on voice calls. I wouldn't do video calls because I wouldn't trust them. But audio call, taking audio calls and debating callers and atheists and stuff, Cy would crush. He'd be making $100,000 a month. I absolutely 100% believe that with all of my chest. So Tim Kate, if you're watching this now, you need to start live streaming, dude. Like that could be incredible. It will be. It would be incredible. It's that could be like it will be incredible. So that is my thought on live streaming. But also, Scott, if you're still there, I think it's really important too that Christians just be good entertainers. It doesn't have to be theological. It doesn't have to be apologetics. It doesn't have to be Bible teaching. Just be a really good video game streamer. Like be one of the best gamers out there and crush all the communists. You know what I mean? Like 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 get in Call of Duty and go after and be the best video gamer there is. Like be an entertainer. Just entertain people. And not everything that you do online has to be with this theological sort of approach. Just make stuff. Just make content. Like that's what you do. If you're good at drawing, live stream yourself drawing. If you're good at playing video games, live stream yourself playing video games. If you're good at political commentary, live stream yourself doing political comment. Do what you're really passionate about, and just be entertaining and bring energy and all those sort of things that come with it. Like just bring that sort of stuff. So, yeah, so, like Rumble, like nobody is like this is exactly this is what I'm saying. Like Rumble is, I like Rumble a lot, but you just don't get anybody watching you. And the funny thing is, I have more people subscribed to my Rumble channel. I have like 124 subscribers on Rumble, and no one in the chat the whole time. This is exactly what I talk about when I talk about like the need for recommendation engines and algorithms to help push content that's good. So but yeah, so Scott fixes it. I hope that answers your questions regarding that. But yeah, just make stuff. Get out there in the world. We're always the ones that look at people like Osmond Gold and Hassan and go, why don't we ever have any Christians that are doing that? Well, is anything stopping you? Like, what's stopping you from being the next Osmond Gold? What's stopping you from being, the next ninja? Like, what's stopping you from being the next top streamer of your favorite video game? Like, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. I mean, of course, there's responsibilities, but you have to treat it like a business, and you're going to put time and effort and energy into it, and you're gonna you're really gonna focus on it. Like that's really key to being able to do that. And so You know, if we can put a lot of time and energy into creating a landscaping business or another sort of business, you know, on the side while we have a full-time gig, I think the same could be true for live streaming. But the reason we don't do it is because for some reason Christians have a sort of negative view towards this sort of stuff, and it's insanely frustrating. You know, like it's insanely frustrating. But so, man, what else is going on in the world, chat? What else is going on in the world? Oh, I'm on Facebook too. See, like this is the thing, like getting Facebook comments is like really crazy hard and difficult to do. Two comments on Facebook. Linux on Facebook says, "Get after it, bro." Yeah, man. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. He said that 17 minutes ago, so I don't even know what I was talking. I see. This is the thing. Does anybody in the chat know an all-in-one chat solution for all the streaming platforms? And I feel like what I'm gonna have to do, because I don't think there's a way to do it with Facebook. I've looked. It seems really complicated and a lot of hackery involved. But I need, look, if you're watching me on Facebook right now, please just join my Kick. I'm King Ginger on Kick. Just join. I'll shout you out. We'll celebrate. And of course, any super chats. I get to yell and scream and flash the lights. It's really great. It's fun. You know? So, but yeah, it's really hard to, like, if there was just like one, I know there's got to be an all-in-one chat solution. I'm pretty certain that there is, but it's really difficult to find it. I do have my Restream chat, maybe that, but the Restream chat, although it's nice, it doesn't let me, like, the one thing I can't do is I can't display the chat on stream unless I'm using the Restream Studio and not just the RMTP link from OBS, which is easier to do. So it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with, but we'll see how the Restream the Restream works. But what else are we going to talk about? What else is going on in the world? Let's see what else is going on in the world. This is really funny, by the way. I think this made me laugh a lot. Simple diplomatic solution is Baron Trump marries Princess Isabella of Denmark and Greenland, and Greenland is given to America as dowry payment. That's awesome. I love that. That's really great. I'm trying to see what's going on in the world of entertainment. I don't care about Minneapolis unless there's like riots happening. Chat, if there's riots happening, I'll cut to that. We'll cut to some live streams of the riots, but I don't see anything. I don't see anything happening in the entertainment space that's particularly interesting at the moment. Yeah, looks like a lot of Korean dramas are trending. That doesn't help me. Woody? Why is Woody trending? Not because of Toy Story. That was from January 6th. Think we've seen that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Official Gambling Academy followed me. Okay. Thanks for the shout out of you guys, I'm not, unfortunately, I'm not a gambling stream. No desire to be. I become so insanely obsessed over Chuck E. Cheese tickets. Like if I were to do a gambling stream, uh it would not end well. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, just based on my childhood Chuck E. Cheese token spend and rage that I've acquired at Chuck E. Cheese, both from being a kid and uh, uh, from working at Chuck E. Cheese for 3 years. I can tell you, uh, not ideal. I stay away from Dave and Buster's. But thanks for the follow. Uh, 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 so it's true. It is absolutely true. Dude, I kind of want to get that guitar game place going now. I kind of want to see if I can maybe if I learn to play the guitar, it'll help me with like the banjo. Right? Like maybe that'll help. So it's called Rocksmith and it teaches you, so it's like Guitar Hero, but it actually teaches you how to play the guitar. Isn't that amazing? Video games are awesome. So, let's see. Let's see. What is going on dude, it seems like my timeline is just filled with uh Minneapolis stuff and I don't care. Got to get Rocksmith 2014. Rocksmith Plus is subscription and the reviews are horrible. They always ruin a game when they go from free to play or buy to play the whole game to uh like some sort of subscription model with DLC. Like it always, but because at that point the focus isn't on the gameplay, it's on the monetization, right? So like those like it takes priority, and monetization is so insanely lucrative that of course all the focus comes into monetization. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna be insane. When you think about like the monetization that's gonna like in for GTA 6, it's gonna be nuts. Your son said that it doesn't teach you banjo, but the skills of learning guitar will help to learn banjo. All right. All right. You got to get a special controller for it too, don't you? You have to get a special controller for Rocksmith? Let me look that up. Rocksmith controller. Yeah, you can get it for Xbox. Yeah, it looks like you can. Looks like there's some pretty legit controllers. Oh, it's a special cable to connect the guitar to the. Oh, so you can already have the guitar. Oh, that's pretty cool, man. That's way better. I thought it was like you know, like a KB Toys or what is it, Mad Cats? Like you get like your Mad Cats special, but that's way better, man. So then you can have like you can actually have a nice guitar and you can do it. That sounds great. Yeah, I think I'd probably like to learn to play the bass though, because don't get Xbox on PC. There's a community that makes DLCs. Ah, see? Of course. Of course. Why would you get it on Xbox when you can get community driven content? Of course. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I imagine that's just on Steam. My wife has a regular guitar, so I wouldn't have to buy a guitar. Let's see. Rocksmith. Rocksmith 2014 edition, only $9.99. Oh yeah, man, that sounds awesome. Learn and play.
We challenge people across the country.
No.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to look into this, dude. This looks awesome. I really do. I love video games that are insanely useful. Like we act like most video games are just a waste of time, but a majority of them actually, like, you learn really great skills. Like Legend of Zelda is great for puzzle, like for thinking and puzzling and all this sort of stuff. On Steam, we have over 1,000 songs. Only about 200 of them are Ubisoft DLCs. That's amazing, man. Like that. Yeah. Do you have any Weird Al songs? The night Santa went crazy. Do that. Is that possible? Some polka. Yeah, that sounds awesome, man. Yeah, so when I was a teenager, I was really, really. You wouldn't know it by looking at me, but I was really, really into like Dance Dance Revolution. I spent so much money on Dance Dance Revolution, like the actual arcade, man. I did, like, I had the pads. Like I went on eBay, and I got like the $100 metal PlayStation 1 pad for Dance Dance Revolution. And it just never worked really well because we had carpet. So like I was just it was a complete waste of money. But I would go to the arcade. I would go to the putt putt golf arcade, and I would play there like crazy all the time. My parents would just drop me off with cash and quarters, and then I would go play all the time. Where was the other place I played a lot? Oh, Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. So I worked at Busch Gardens, and so on my breaks, I would go and play at Busch Gardens. And when I came into the park uh, uh, for free, because you could, I would just come into the park and just play Dance Dance Revolution at the park at Busch Gardens. So we have a few Weird Al from the Community DLCs. Yeah, man. That's awesome. That's my jam. I saw Weird Al in concert. You know that? I did. Me and Jason Farley went to go see him in concert, and that was a great experience during the height of COVID. Uh, 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 Jason had to get swabbed, so that, for the COVID test. That was fantastic. But what he did was he did a really stripped down performance. He called it an acoustic performance, but it wasn't exactly an acoustic performance. But it was just the reason he did it was because he said that the band, he wanted to find a way to make money for the band during COVID because they weren't able to tour and do stuff and earn an income any other way. So he just basically did a stripped down stage show just for the band, and we went to go see him in Spokane, and it was so stripped down. Get this, they didn't even play any of his major parody songs. It was all his original work. So The Night Santa Went Crazy, all the polka songs, like just all his original tracks that he did on the album. And the reason was because they didn't want to justify the cost of a performance license for that music, because that music, although it's protected by parody law doesn't protect paid stage performances. So it was all just his original work. It was incredible. It was really, really good. Like to see him do Albuquerque live on stage is insane. And it's a really long performance, and he adds a lot more to it that he doesn't. That's more than just the album song, and it's just incredible. I just really, really thought that was like one of my favorite concerts I've ever been to, even like as stripped down as it was. So that was a lot of fun. So did y'all see my tweet? By the way, did you guys see my tweet about me wanting to be an official sponsor of Alp? I don't know if that's possible legally. Like, is that a thing? Because that would be a cool goal, right? It's like, dear Alp, I want to be a sponsor. How can I get someone like Alp to sponsor my live streams? That would be the dream. That would be the dream. You know what? To be honest, they wouldn't even have to pay me. They just would have to send me free product. That's it. That's all they would have to do. Just send me free product. Oh yeah. He did Hardware Store. He did Albuquerque. He did The Night Santa Went Crazy. Uh, all the polka mixes that he did, the montages, the polka montages. Yeah, he covered like everything that wasn't an original. Um, I think he did do an original, but I mean a parody. Like he did everything that wasn't a parody. But when he did do the parody songs, it was like in a very brief montage, so that like enough that it wouldn't cause like some sort of copyrighted disturbance or something like that. So that was really great, and I think maybe the polka renditions he did had some of obviously some other music in it. So I think like he did like do some limited uh parody stuff, but through the polka. It was all done through the polka, if I remember. And I imagine any if there was another song that he did have the rights to play, it was because he already like has maybe a perpetual stage performance license for that he's already paid for a long time ago. But it was very limited. Like most all of it was just original stuff. It was excuse me, like halfway through the concert, I was like, he hasn't done any parody songs yet. Is it going to be this way the whole time? And it was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And then you can quickly put the pieces together and stuff like that. But yeah, man, Weird Al is fantastic. By the way, speaking of Weird Al, let me see if I can find this clip. Here we go. I got it. Look at that. First search just came up. Let me pull this up real quick. One second. All right. So this is
That's one of
yeah, okay. I'm just trying to figure out how to full screen. Full screen. All right, here we go. This is why he doesn't make
the
music
reasons
anymore.
why I'm not so much focused on parodies right now is because I long for the days of the monoculture where everybody was aware of what was big on the charts.
Yeah.
And now things have gotten very fragmented. Everybody's into their own specific subgenre, and they're listening to just exactly the little niche kind of music that they're into, which is good in a way, I guess, because it's nice for people to have choices. But for a parody artist like me, it's nice for everybody to be familiar with the same material so that I don't have to figure out like, well, what is a hit anymore,
Yeah.
Certainly there are big hits and there are superstars and all that, but it's not as overwhelming as it was, say, in the 80s when everybody watched MTV, everybody kind of like knew what the big videos were, who the big stars were, what the big hits were. That's
So I just think that's really fascinating. Like that the fact that the algorithm has so turned everything into such a minute niche that someone like Weird Al goes, "Hey, there's like no like legitimate top 40 anymore." Right? Like there's no legitimate like people are listening to Forrest Frank or they're listening to the Paradox, right, which is like a punk rock band, right? And like they're very popular on their specific algorithms of the people that they target, but it's not broad enough that he can do an album because there's very few songs that everybody knows the lyrics to. Like there's very few songs that it makes sense to do that anymore. And guys, I just think that's sad. I'm not a fan of that. The fact that Weird Al isn't capable of like making albums anymore because we've so niched the algorithm into genres upon subgenres, like that is sad. You know? So part of me is like, Weird Al, man, just go and make like a classics album, man, like all 1950s parodies. You know? Just make a classics album of like all 1980s parodies, include songs that you didn't do from the 80s. You know, like Kate Bush, right? Like everybody knew Kate Bush's song. You know, do a parody of that. You know, they just make new music, Weird Al. Please, please make new music. But I think he's right. Yeah, I think it's like there's not like a legitimate hit anymore. You know, and some things are hits because they're popular on TikTok, but they're not popular in the mainstream. Play Skull said, "Imagine if he did a parody of his own songs." A Weird Al Inception. Yeah, that's exactly right. So, so that would be crazy, right? Like to do that. So, but I think that's one of the reasons we have got to get like the finding of talent back to a face-to-face sort of thing. And that doesn't exist in the world anymore. But it's always going to be valuable, especially in a world of AI, like in algorithms. Like in a world of AI and algorithms, like the ability to meet people face to face, to find talent face to face, to discover talent that might not be online is insanely valuable. Because now what we've done is we've made the platforms, these social media platforms, whether it's TikTok or YouTube, we've given them permission to find music for us, and we accept it because they do a good job of it, but they're not able to really find new stuff that most people like wouldn't like they wouldn't be able to find stuff that most people wouldn't be able to do and or to find. And Jason Farley, I talk about Jason Farley a lot on the show, don't I? Maybe too much, but we have a lot of conversations about this. But he always tells me is like, the reason the punk rock movement and the hip hop movement in Brooklyn and all these sort of musical movements happened was because there were physical spaces in which you could go and you could hear this stuff. You could go to garage punk rock bands, or you could go see punk rock shows in basements of people's houses in the suburbs, and on the streets of Brooklyn they were doing rap battles and all this other sort of stuff with a boombox out on the street. Like these are the things that brought attention to these new music genres that didn't exist before. And it still works that way with stand-up comedy. You can still go to a stand-up comedy show. You can pay. You can go see a ticket to Kill Tony. You can watch Kill Tony. You can, but one of the things like you can watch Kill Tony and that comedy is happening on Kill Tony, like because it's live, right? And you're seeing this stuff play out. Like this guy's got a minute. His name gets pulled out of the bucket, and he's got 60 seconds to make a really great impression in hopes that he gets invited back. It's the exact same way that happened with like Johnny Carson when a comedian would perform on Johnny Carson and he would do his bit. If Johnny Carson invited him over to the couch, like it was set. If on Kill Tony you get a golden ticket, like you're set. Like that's a big deal. And I feel like we've just like kind of we've allowed the algorithm to kind of steal away this sort of authenticity of finding new and raw talent and the excitement of finding great talent, but the thrill of finding talent that just is not good and bombs on stage, whether it's in music or whether it's in comedy. Nothing beats going to an open mic night comedy club and watching a comedian start out with clean jokes that bomb and then think, well, now I got to be funny, and then just diving into vulgar jokes and that being actually worse and turning the audience against you. Like there's nothing like that. And even watching Kill Tony live doesn't give you quite the same awkwardness and cringe as like actually being there. And so those human spaces matter a lot when it comes to art and entertainment. Like that, we definitely need more of that. And so we got to make more uh, of those sort of things happen, and those sort of places happen. Which is why I'm really glad here in Moscow we started a comedy group. Really, really happy about that. I think it's great. And then all the other sort of things of just like, where do you go? Like, where are people making things? Like, go there, go where people are making things, and that is really, really missing from the world. you know, so there is still nobody watching me on Rumble. you know, so I think I just do you guys just let me be honest, like in the chat, especially the kick chat that's insanely active. Do you guys watch live streams on Rumble? I I only go on Rumble when a creator of mine has uploaded a video that YouTube deleted or removed or flagged for some reason. And they go, "There's a backup copy on Rumble." Like that's the only time I go to Rumble. And I know like Tim Pool is really big on it. I know that Steven Crowder's really big on it, but it seems like there's like a few guys on there that are really big, and that's the only thing that's really driving Rumble. But as far as like independent creators, I just don't see Rumble as that thing. I could be wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Scott Fixes It says, before fatherhood and some priorities got bumped, I'd go a few hours trying to find the best of wildly diverse music genres, trying to find what is the best of the niches. Often wondered if that would make a good live stream. Not for me. I don't have the music theory vocab to engage in conversation, but almost like a cinema wins in quick shot form. Dude, I'm telling you, that would be so awesome to do that. There's people on TikTok. It's this black couple, and they got really famous, I think, from listening to I think a majority of like white people music, so like country music or whatever, right? So it's a black couple listening to white people music for the first time. It's like '90s country music, right? Like uh, everywhere from '90s country music to punk pop music from the '90s, early 2000s, like that sort of stuff. And what's so great about them is you could tell they love music so much. Like they really, really know what they're talking about, and they just get excited to hear Reba McEntire or Dolly Parton. Like I was watching Dolly Parton, them listening to Dolly Parton's 9 to 5 for the first time, and like she hits those notes, and they just go crazy with excitement. And it's really just great and wholesome and wonderful, and it's just phenomenal. So you know what? There is something I want to show you guys before. I'll save that for another. I'll save that for another stream. We'll do that for another stream. But I don't know. We could talk about the quarter zip trend that's happening on TikTok right now, because I think that is incredible. And I just got sent a video last night of if you don't know what the quarter zip trend is, it's where younger Gen Z black guys abandon like the gang mask that were popularized during COVID, and they wear like preppy quarter zip sweaters and stuff, and drink green matcha, and they talk about how the ghettos are maturing and stuff. It's really amazing. But there was an animated cartoon that this has gotten so big. Somebody did an animated cartoon. I don't know if it's AI generated or not. My assumption is it is. But it's an anime where the CIA is trying to stop the quarter zip trends from maturing the ghettos. But I'll save that for another stream, because it's a really great topic, and it's I want to bring forth the whole calculus of this trend and how it started and all that sort of stuff. So I'll prepare that for another trend. So I'm not kind of doing it off the wall, but I think that'd be a really great topic to talk about. So what else? You guys are following me and you guys are engaging in the chat. What would you like to hear me talk about as I continue to do this? Yeah, let me know what you guys would like to hear from me on that end, and then I'll I'll probably live stream again on Friday night. That'll be the next time that I do that. I believe Friday night or Friday afternoon, 4 to 7, same time frame, 4 to 6:30, 4 to 7, and I will continue to do that. Steve Seagrove says he wants me to talk about the Twisted Metal show. I haven't seen the Twisted Metal show. My only experience with Twisted Metal was from the PlayStation 1 game that I played all the time. Is it good? Is like if I watch it, like it's gonna be like, because I'd have to get a Peacock subscription. I don't have one currently. It's not. It's it's not the time. It's entertaining. Okay. I'll have to check it out. Yeah, I did. I played that game all the time on my PS1. I love that game. It was great. Uh, 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 so that was a fun game. What other PlayStation 1 games did I play? That was like I was really obsessed with. I think obviously the first Tomb Raider was huge. Oh, Intelligent Cube. I played that. I got that on my PS5. It was one of the games you could download. Uh, uh, Intelligent Cube. I think it was called Intelligent Cube, QUBE, but it was like IQ is the name of the game. But I have a theory what they're doing with it, but they've only given a couple of hints. Well, now I'm intrigued. CC Groves. Now I'm intrigued. Yeah, there is some other stuff. You know what I want to watch is the Downey documentary on Peacock. The one about the writer for Saturday Night Live. I haven't watched that yet. So that is a reason to get Peacock at some point. Will Kathleen Kennedy finally leave Lucasfilm? And if she does, will anything change with Dave Filoni heading the creative side? Doubt it from what I've been hearing. I did hear that Kathleen Kennedy is leaving LucasArts or Lucasfilm. And then I looked to go see what Dave Filoni did. He did The Mandalorian. I mean, the question is what is Disney trying to course correct? Like that's the question I would ask about the Lucasfilm stuff. Is Disney trying to course correct? If Disney is sending a message to Kathleen Kennedy and saying, you really screwed up the Star Wars franchise when we put a lot of money into it. Oh, he did Osaka and Mando was Jon Favreau? I thought I saw he was a producer though. He was I'm pretty sure I saw he was a producer for it. Let's see. Dave Filoni. IMDb. Let's check this out, shall we? So he did Clone Wars, I think. It does have him as a producer of 24 episodes of The Mandalorian. So I was right. He was a producer. And I don't know what that means in terms of like how involved he was. What was he before Star Wars? He just did. It looks like he just did Star Wars. He was a writer. Star Wars. Yeah, he's only. It looks like he's only ever done. He's only ever done. Looks like he's only ever done Star Wars. That's crazy. What a run. Oh, he did. Oh, he did. Okay, he did Avatar: Last Airbender. the cartoon, and then went from that. That makes sense. So Avatar: The Last Airbender was great, and then he went to Star Wars: The Clone Wars. So here's my thought, because yeah, so he was a producer, but you're right, he was the director of Ahsoka. Am I saying that right? I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he's not. He's yeah. Favreau is a brilliant storyteller. So I could see, yeah, like the Mandalorian. So here's my question though. Like, how much did he love the Mandalorian, right? And so if Kathleen Kennedy's in charge, and you have to, if Kathleen Kennedy's in charge, and you have to do this sort of, play along to get along, or get along to play along, like that sort of thing. I wonder how much of like the bad stuff Dave did was a result of Kathleen Kennedy's influence and demands. Because that's, I think, is really possible. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. I feel like he has a pretty successful resume. The Book of Boba Fett, which wasn't terrible. The Mandalorian, he was producer. It says he wrote The Mandalorian here too. So he worked with Favreau on writing The Mandalorian. So, I'm just gonna say, I have strong hopes. I have high hopes. I'll take an optimistic approach until he proves me wrong. But if he's leading the charge, now's the chance for him to say, "I'm not Kathleen Kennedy, and I'm not gonna make it fake and gay." Like, this is his chance. So he's on board with the Force is female. Check out Ryan Cannell's latest video. Aw, man. Well, if that's true, I'll look up Ryan Cannell. I'm assuming that's on YouTube, right? Let's see. Ryan Cannell, RK Outpost. And he has a video. Dave Filoni won't fix a Disney Star Wars disaster with Kathleen Kennedy exit. Is there a relevant moment here?
For the last decade plus, Disney Star Wars has been an absolute disaster under the leadership.
This guy brings the energy. That guy is on some Red Bulls.
Of Kathleen Kennedy. But as I've talked about on
But this is what I'm talking about when streaming. Like, I don't have peak high levels like that, but you have to bring the character. Blaze Call says the energy and the F-bomb.
This channel, since the very beginning, Kathleen Kennedy is not the only problem at Lucasfilm. She's one of many, including some of the creatives there, like Dave Filoni. And in fact, Dave Filoni has...
Man, the hate is just like, okay, dude. I could tell this guy's had some personal relationships with this Dave Filoni guy. He is traumatized, man.
Done just as much damage, if not more, to Star Wars than anyone else in that building. Yet, after The Last Jedi's failure and after The Rise of Skywalker, and in this in-between era, you saw a lot of people saying Dave Filoni should be put in charge of Star Wars. Dave Filoni's the guy to do it. Unfortunately, every time you see another project from Dave Filoni, especially any of these live-action projects, you get more and more people saying, maybe this was the wrong idea to push for this guy. Well, here we are in 2020.
Okay, so after the second half, he has a part of Dave Filoni's speech. I think this is it right here.
Female advocate than Dave Filoni. It's present in all of his work, but if you listen to him speak and you see the things that he said, there's no doubt about it. This is Dave Filoni. I mean, this is years and years ago at this point. This is the guy that so many people said he'll respect the fans. This Dave Filoni.
Oh no. Oh no.
This is what we've tried to do with the Star Wars saga.
Oh no.
We've tried to create more female characters who can represent so many things, because what we're trying to do isn't just create one type of character.
Oh no. Oh no. This is the first time I heard him talk, and already I'm like, oh no. Oh no. He's got a slight lisp.
Trying to create a diverse range of characters, especially female characters that are strong, that are independent. When you look at Rey, on The Force Awakens, she's a female lead in a whole new chapter of the Star Wars saga. We haven't done a movie for 10 years, and here comes a Star Wars film, and here comes...
Wow, so brave. First off, by the way, wasn't Princess Leia a female lead? I don't understand. Like I know it's technically Luke Skywalker and Han Solo are like the leads, but like she was like pretty, like, why would you do that to Princess Leia? Like, what? You just what is going on? Does he not remember?
Rey, and what is it? Is it Panic in the Streets? Oh my gosh, a female lead in a Star Wars movie. And then the trailer for Rogue One comes out, and it's another female lead. Oh my gosh, how unfair. We've had probably like 2 million straight film cinematic roles where men have been leads, and now we've done 2 in a row that are women.
Oh, dude, this is so disappointing. Play Skull. This is so disappointing. Maybe he's under the thumb of Kathleen Kennedy though. maybe Kathleen Kennedy wrote this speech for him. He was just trying to get her job so he could fix it. That's gonna be, look, dude, always glass half full. And until you mess it up, I'm gonna give you the chance to fix it. Maybe Kathleen Kennedy was under was putting the pressure, wrote this speech for you. But you know, CC Griff says that's all fine and good, but if you're going to do that, at least make the movie watchable. Yeah, I don't think anybody's like, I'm not, you know, I don't mind a female lead in a movie as long as she's, you know, a female and doesn't have all the capabilities of a man, you know. There's female leads in rom-com. Nobody complains about those, right? So I'm not like anti-female leads in movies. But my goodness, Star Wars is inherently a masculine father-son story. Like, that's the only way that movie works, is because there's this father-son narrative, and there's this, you know, kill the dragon, get the girl narrative too, right? Like, right, it's like, you know, rescue the princess from Darth Vader. You know, that's the core of the film.
Well, too bad. Oh well. Maybe there are more coming. I don't know. This is this idea that, like, and I run into this sometimes when working with writers. It's like, well, we just made one of those. Made one of what? We just made a female lead. We can make another one. Really? Yes, we can. There's more than one woman in the world. There's more than one woman here in the world. Why is that so strange? If we made like 5 men heroes in a row, no one would blink.
Right, this is back after the sequel trilogy and the backlash, Mary Sue Ray, all of this stuff. This is Dave Filoni.
Yeah, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. Hold on. Yeah, so yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good at all. Why'd you have to bring me down like that, guys? See the chat. Chat's bringing me down. Chat's like, actually, Dave Filoni is a feminist soy boy, and he's gonna ruin Star Wars. And then I'm like, well, I guess I have to agree. Scott Fixit says, sorry, late answer to your question. I want to hear about what happens if lore wins and upends the current economic paradigm around storytelling, story making. Also, the similarities between the platform and the genuineness and audience feedback aspect of live streaming. Well, I think the audience feedback similarities between lore, the audience feedback similarities between lore and live streaming are pretty similar because what it does is it allows a more narrative filmmaker who's not necessarily doing stuff live to be able to directly get feedback from the audience and a financial transaction. Like when I say something really great on a live stream, you know, I get flooded with hundreds and hundreds of dollars of super chats. I'm just kidding. I don't. But a big streamer would, right? Like a big streamer would get a lot of money if they say something that the audience likes, and that's a sort of, it's not just a criticism. There's a financial transaction in what's being said, right? There's a financial sort of interaction that's taking place. And the same is true with a filmmaker. If a filmmakers right now, they have to go to big studios and there's 7 people in the world that decide which movies gets made, and get the green light. Like Duffer Brothers with Stranger Things. I read the other day on Twitter that they spent several years pitching Stranger Things to studios, hoping that one of the studios would finally say yes, and finally Netflix did. But they had to just do all this pitching to just a select group of people, as opposed to going directly to the audience and saying, hey, is this a story you guys would like to see? Are you guys into it? Right? Like it would have saved them years. It would have saved them years. And so the goal of lore, of course, is to where an artist can pitch an idea directly to an audience and get that project funded within a week to 30 days, if it's good. And if it's bad, it goes away and you never hear about it ever again. Because the only way to really determine if his project is good or a film or a story is good is by whether or not there's a financial transaction involved. There's so much talk about, oh, just focus on the art. You know, that like in Hollywood, we see that too, right? Like, oh, just focus on the art. The executives are only worried about profit. But the executives should be worried about profit. Like profit's important. Like profit is what creates the movies, keeps making the movies, right? But I don't think there's a dichotomy between profit and art. I think good art generates profit, and so there's a balance there that needs to take place. And when one side gets weighted more than the other, then you have a problem. And so I think the genuineness and authenticity of knowing who your filmmakers are and what they represent and the values that they have, and their ability to be able to create, movies and TV shows just by pitching directly to an audience and not a big Hollywood executive system, is both insanely profitable and the more ideal situation in which films should be made. From a financial model, well, it's better for the consumer, and it's better for the artist, and it's better for the platform that's in the middle of those two transactions, because the platform isn't having to be able to, force their opinions of what a movie or TV show should be. And the artist can have creative freedom and creative control and have some more ownership of their IP than what Hollywood does. Like right now, C.S. Lewis and J.R. Tolkien, for example, they have family offices that manage their estate and their IP. And then, of course, they sell it to Disney, and then they sell it to Netflix, and then they sell it to Amazon, and then they ruin those organizations ruin it. But at least the family is the one that did it. Nowadays, Dave Filoni, Kathleen Kennedy, they don't own Star Wars, right? Oh, and this Scott brings me to a story that made me sad this week. I was trying to figure out what happened to Steve Whitmire because they're doing the new Muppet Show, which, by the way, looks incredible. I'm a big Muppet fan. If I haven't said that 100 times already on live stream. My microphone, look at this. Look at this piece of junk. The microphone's not a piece of junk, but this stand is not good. And so anyway, so I was looking at I was trying to figure out, because the new Kermit they have is really terrible. like the voice is just in this uncanny valley. Just like I don't mind a new person taking over Kermit and it sounding a little different, like it not just being the same. You go, and you're like, I got, what is this? Oh, there's an imminent snow squall alert for our area. It's my wife letting me it's snowing, as well as the National Weather Service. But I have a side story. I was in Kauai when I got one of those alerts that said a nuclear missile was headed that way and to take cover immediately. We were in Kauai at that time that happened. So I have severe PTSD whenever I hear that alert, man. I think you probably saw it. If you guys clipped that, you probably saw it in my eyes. That was just a throwback to Kauai and me and Jeff Durbin and Luke and we're all running to the basement and we're grabbing mattresses and we're throwing mattresses from the top floor of the Airbnb all the way down the basement in an assembly line and throwing it on top of the women and children as if the mattresses are going to save people. Seagrove says we might be getting more of those alerts soon. I know. That's why I just had a throwback to PTSD. What were we talking about? Oh, Steve Whitmire. So I was trying to figure out why this voice is just not good. And I researched online the rumors, because we don't know for sure. It was just the rumors as to why Steve Whitmire got fired. And it seems like what happened was the voice of Piglet died. And so when the voice of Piglet died, Disney decided that there needs to be a backup voice actor and performer for every major character. And Steve Whitmire was okay with that, but he told Disney, he said, I don't think that Kermit is something that is just a voice. So allow me to be the one that picks who the successor would be in the event of my death. Because that's what happened. Jim Henson picked me. And I think it's fair to pick the replacement. And Disney said, you don't own Kermit. and Steve Whitmire was like, no, I know I don't own Kermit. I never owned Kermit. But I want to make sure that the way Kermit acts and lives and breathes and feels and sounds and smells on stage is someone who I've trained up to do it. And Disney said, you don't get to make that. You don't get to make that choice. And I guess there were like other arguments, but that was like the main one. Steve Whitmire was insanely protective of Jim Henson's legacy of Kermit, and he wanted to protect that as much as possible. And I think Disney just said, you're fired. We don't need you. And we're going to show you that we own this IP. And you don't. And so that's the sort of thing. It's like something like the Hensons could be taken away from the Henson family in such a way like that, to where the studios now own all the IP and the artists don't have any connection and the children don't have any connection to the work in which they've made, I think is absolutely repulsive and disgusting. And I don't like it at all. I think a filmmaker should be able to pass down the stories that they make to their children, in part or in whole. So I think that's really important. And, when you hear that about Steve Whitmire and why he's not doing Kermit anymore, it's just really, really sad and discouraging. So, but I just got the dinner bell. It was not the alert on my phone. And so that means dinner is ready and today's stream is done. So thank you guys all for joining me in the Kick chat. Specifically, thank you for the $10 super chat from Jesus is King 51. Really appreciate that. I think that was a lot of fun. And nobody in Rumble, not a single chat in Rumble. Not a single chat in Rumble. Craziness. It's craziness. So thanks to all the new followers on Kick, all 24 of you guys. I do got the Rumble wallet. I set up the Rumble wallet before going live, and I got nothing. Chris Pavlovsky said that he was going to be doing raids, and I just completely got ghosted by Chris. Just like my LinkedIn connection, apparently it's exactly the same. So, all right, guys. Thank you guys so much.